1 hour. Hello there, how you doing, man? Oh yes, Streamlabs. I haven't got Streamlabs sorted. Let me sort that out. Not sure if any of the sound is coherent, but we will work that out. I'm sorry for my lateness as well. I'll have to apologize several times today. Oh, I will explain all when a few people in. Just need to get Streamlabs sorted out to make sure it's all up. Oh, it's going. Okay, that's good. Okay, I'm just going to get the pop-up thing for myself so I can actually see things much better. Oh, so how you doing, man? You all good? Let's see, chat box and launch. Streamlabs is absolutely brilliant. And if I put it onto the left side, I can actually see people's texts. We've got a rather unusual setup from normal today, so we'll just have to bear with me and see how it goes. Right, I need to get everything ready. Now, graphics card, this one, I'll leave that there actually. Power supply unit will go with the, I'm going to put that down actually for now, because we don't need that right now. We will in a second. We don't need now. Okay, so we're going with the Dark Power Pro today, and I'm going to hope it will fit. If it doesn't, then, oh no. I've already set up the main system, which actually is hilarious because that's it. Fits on a fan box. So that's the main system. That's the 6700Ks underneath there. 16 gigs of RAM and the Size Mugen 5 cooler on top. Which I haven't actually discussed anything about any of the coolers that I've reviewed and the whole situation there, which also needs discussing at some point. I've got a camera here, but that camera is going to turn into a sort of build camera partway through, so I'm pretty much going to be faceless for a part of this, I think. I have got several cameras set up as usual, so we've got this one set up, so that will give you a good sort of, I don't know, top perspective or, you know, something like that. I might have to switch a few around to see, maybe create a few. But yeah, I'm so sort of last second at the moment. It's not good. It's not good. Right, so in terms of stuff I've got, we're hopefully going to make this quite a snappy stream, quite a snappy build. And I know I've said that in the past, but this time I'm going to try and make that true. We have a pile of fans here. I'm not sure if I want to use all of these. I'll put them to the side for now. In terms of power cables, that's something that I have actually put away, so I need to go and grab all those. Okay, if that doesn't fall down, that would be great. So I've plunked all the power cables back in here, which is good. Why do I never stream on Twitch? Just because it seems easier if people want to see streams to do it on here, because obviously I've got a very limited audience at the moment, and I'm sort of looking at there when the camera's here. I've got a very limited audience at the moment, and if people are interested in checking out streams, then, you know, saying stream on Twitch is something that's difficult, and also in part of the YouTube community guidelines is you can't say join us on Twitch, or you can't put links to go to Twitch or tell people to go to Twitch. That's kind of the community guidelines on that one, so I can't say I'm streaming on Twitch, and it's basically if you say something on YouTube and say go over to something off of YouTube that is a competing service, then they get a little bit uppity about that, which is fair enough because obviously they're providing a competing service. So it's hard for me to say, yes, let's go over there and do that, because, I mean, based on like agreements and stuff, it becomes difficult. This is supposed to be green on there. The color grading is really awful. It's actually more green on my screen than it has when it's coming over to YouTube. And I have a feeling that's something to do with the sort of red bias or something like that that YouTube has. So I'm going to see if I can do anything about that. But I don't think it kind of matters. It kind of does actually. Let me see if I can fix that. Let's see. Have I got any camera control stuff? Yes, I do. Which camera is that one? Is the question. It's. Oh no. Oh, it's the main camera. Oh no, I need to sort that out. Right, top camera, properties, and configure video, and see if I can. Oh, I hate the things in this one. It's awful. Contrast, no. Saturation. If I throw saturation up a touch, does that make a difference? I don't know. I don't know. It's really annoying when I haven't got the actual like main controls. I don't know. I think we'll just deal with it. Anyways, right. So I think we've got a few people in now. Let's get building, as it were. I just got to double check everything though. So CPU, we have the i7-6700K underneath this size Mugen 5. Our motherboard is the, what was it, the Z270 or Z170i Pro Gaming, I think, from Asus. And then we have 2 gigs or 2 sticks of 8 gig RAM, 8 gigs of RAM, DDR4, G-Skills Ripjaws 5. And yes, that's 16 gigs in total. Running, I think it's 400 megahertz. Like, let me just see. Yes, 400. And then it's got timings of 15, 15, 15, 35, which is not very fast. But, you know, we could do something about that, but we'll see. Hello, man, how you doing? So yes, power supply units, Dark Rock Power Pro 11, 750 watts. Hello, the sickness. That will be our main one today. I haven't actually checked if this is compatible. Last second, I was like, oh, what am I going to go with? And I was having to, actually, there's a thing I need to discuss. We'll discuss that when we're doing things. I'm going to try and make this snappier than usual because we never make snappy live streams. I've got a couple of cameras set up, but I kind of want to make another one. So I think, let me see. Because I've got this one as well, which has got sort of the main overarching build and then like a small camera down there. But the frame rate on this one is horrendous. See how bad that is? That's awful. Why is that so bad? I don't know. Maybe we can avoid that screen. Maybe. I should really have it the other way around, shouldn't I? I should go for zoom in on there. And let me see if I can swap that around. Bear with me. This is not a good idea, but it's an idea that I'm going to go with. So that one needs to come down there. This one needs to go. Which one's that? If I was only good at this, it would be okay. Okay. Bear with me. This is riveting streaming. People must be really interested in this. Okay, and then this needs to be. Bear with me. Oh, that's the wrong one. No, front camera. Ah, low camera. Yes, that's the right way. I think I've done it right. Let me switch over to it. That's the idea. I mean, they're not synced up in the right place. That's my bad. But it's your general okay. It's really blue. This is supposed to be green. When it goes to YouTube, it goes seriously blue, but it's green here. I'm not sure if anyone can see this green. I have no idea. Why a stream for the overclocking R939X? Why not? It's something to do. It was more of a hangout thing, but I mean, like with everything, doing videos throughout the week, it just gets so busy. I haven't got lights on here. Ah, that's one of the reasons. Bear with me. Is that the correct one? Yes, it is. This is. That's gonna help. Or hinder. There we go. Is that? I don't know. But anyway, so we have this. There we go. But yeah, no, the main reason for doing an R939TX water cooler is just, it's green on YouTube too. Yeah, on my YouTube screen, it just looks a little bit off. And I might be overexposed now. I think everything is overexposed, so I think I just need to tweak that very quickly. But and then we'll just get into some building. Let me see. That one. Let's bring the exposure down a little bit on that. That's better. And then if we can tweak that one, which is the one down there, which is not on screen now. It's really annoying trying to sort out 3 different cameras, especially if they're all the same make, because you've got the same software that has to try and configure all of them, or you have to use some third-party janky stuff that is really not very good. Exposure down, and now it's playing up, so that's going to be good. Yeah, now it's twitching. We'll just leave it and see if it stops twitching. See if that's the thing. But I kind of want to change it a little bit. Apologies for this. Is really, really awful stuff, but this is how things go. Contrast. We'll bring the main brightness down. Bring the exposure down a whack, and then see if I can throw a bit of brightness up. This is not going well. I'll leave it at that. I don't know if that's awful, but you'll get the picture. Anyway. Oh, geez, that's the title of the stream. Oh, my God. Zalman build one. Right, what am I doing? Oh. Has that changed? Right. Zalman M1 build. Right. Speaking of the Zalman M1 build, let's actually get on with this. So I'll throw that on top of there for now. And we will just get going. I did set that up earlier as a bit of a sort of, let's try and save some time. I'm going to put that to the side there. I will need the IO shield though, so that'll stay out here. I have got this mat, but I have a feeling it's not going to be very useful. But I suppose it does give a bit more of a decent background to things, even though everything is awful. Okay, so Zalman M1. Here we go. Let's see how this goes. Right, have I got a knife? No, but I have a key, and a key will do. But yeah, one thing I do need to do is actually check these packages that come my way. I say come my way, the ones that I buy, as in everyone. Because the difficulty is that if you don't check them, you can sometimes have damage, and then you don't know, and then you have to deal with a damaged case that you need to sell afterwards. I've got an issue with the Level 20 VT, and I purchased it from a company. I'm not even sure if I want to name them because they haven't been given a fair chance to actually do work things out, but in all honesty they kind of have. But I'll leave them nameless for now. But I do need to get that sent back to them or something because there was damage on arrival. But I was kind of asking to see if they could perhaps refund, you know, a little bit of the costs. Because there was damage on arrival. There was some chassis damage. If you look carefully on some of the early low shots of the case, then you'll see some little bit of chassis damage. Let's see if this will come out quietly. Quietly is the key here. It's always these things, isn't it? It's always these things. Okay. I still haven't got a very sophisticated mic setup. It's still, if you can see it in the corner here, it's the mic on a sort of fluffy bit of towel, which is, whoa, okay, there we go, static. That's interesting. We'll check that in a second. So, Zalman M1. I bought this ages ago when I did a little bit of a poll with people and said, here's a few really cool, interesting cases that I like the look of. Which ones do you want to check out? And I purchased this, and then so many things happened in between that I just never got around to actually covering it. And I did want to cover it. It was a really interesting case. But then again, one of those things that was stopping us from doing this, covering this, was the fact that we had all of our CPU coolers, which we've still got loads to review off in the background, needed covering, so I couldn't get on to doing this. And then the level 20 VT happened, and then I had to do that, and can just go in there. Wow. Please don't tell me that's damage on... Okay, there's a panel that's already fallen off, so that's always a good start. But anyway, yeah, so it's taken me a while to get around to covering this one, because there's been, not to put this case down, but this would seem to be a bit of an older case. I'm going to grab that panel out now. It's the front panel here. It's just popped off the front, which is not so good. We'll see actually, if I tilt the camera up a bit, without attempting to make this like some sort of like crotch cam or something. But that might help with building. And then I can change to something like that maybe would be more interesting for you guys rather than me. I know this camera in the top right hand corner or the top left hand corner is shocking on frame rate. I have no idea why. I'm struggling to control it, but I will I will get around to it. I'm also going to try and keep tabs on chat as well. One of these things about doing streams, you just it's trying to provide the entertaining content of like a video-like format, but also try and, you know, well, if not entertaining, at least interesting. Okay, so anyway, yes, thanks for everyone for congrats on the 2,000 subs. Yeah, that creeped up on me, and I really haven't got anything to sort out with regards to it yet. And I'm gonna try and put that on afterwards. I really hope that's not broken, but it does feel weighty, which is always nice. So anyway, so in terms of the actual case then, could do with a touch more exposure on that, but let me know if anything seems wrong. So there we go. So you can see, I know it's shocking frame rate, but the quality isn't all that awful at this stage. There you go. So Zalman M1, I do need to throw this front panel on somehow. So I will try and do that. And let me just double check things. I'd like to say I'm not fiddling around with the video, but I am fiddling around with the video. There's an awful lot of crap in this video. There we go. That's a little bit better. I think that's better. Yeah, there's also an awful lot of gain. Now that one's gone to crap too. Is it because I have it selected? I don't know. Is it okay in that one? Jeez. It's the second I touch it, it all goes to shine. So now that one's smooth. How does that work? Is that because I control a camera and it decides to just turn it to crap then? Okay, I'm gonna try and, let me see if I can just try and, if I tweak. That one, does that one return to normal frame rate? Oh, this is the worst. I'm so sorry. I don't know what the hell's happened. I shouldn't have touched it. I shouldn't have touched it. It was kind of okay, but now it's kind of awful. Configure video. Is it back? It's kind of back. I'm not gonna touch it anymore. But we kind of gotta. Oh, it's kind of awful. It's kind of horrible. It just seems kind of very not smooth at all. It says 30 frames a second. Highest frames per second. Let's see if that helps. I don't know. Deactivate configure video. Does it become smoother when I click configure video? I have no idea. Why is this awful? Okay, I'm stopping touching that. It kind of seems smooth now. I'm gonna leave it at that. Oh, Jesus. Right. Okay, so on to actually building. I'm gonna try and get this panel to go back on, and I don't know why. I don't know why it came off in the first place. It looks like it should just slot in the front, and then. Oh, it's a. That's smart. So it's a. When it wants to be smart, it'll be smart. That's kind of funky. I kind of like that. So yeah, it's just a basic click and it'll fall off. And then you can do your dusting. That's a really small fan hole. Look at that. Actually, I don't know why I'm doing that. Look at that fan hole there. You've got all of this space. I haven't got a 200... Oh no, I've got one of these though. Could you fit... I'm pretty sure you could fit a 180mm fan in there. Although that looks pretty awesome to begin with, so I kind of think that's quite a cool way to go. But anyway, it does technically fit within the shroud, but not technically else any further than that. So I'm just going to put that away. I do my best not to tip anything over because those shelves are looking obscure as it is already. Right. Okay. Right, we will return this here. We'll take the tape off afterwards, but I might have to cut those bits a little bit. Oh, that's supposed to be a smart one as well, is it? Everything's supposed to be a smart clip here. Is the top smart clip? No. Okay, well I think the best thing to do is just rip off every panel we can see and see how it goes. What camera do I use to shoot my videos? It is a Canon 80D. Okay, that is going to cause all sorts of problems. Right, we'll rip the top off and see how that goes. Nope, they're not captive, just double checking. I have got a box full screws, but I haven't got one of those, you know, funky label box things. So I'm going to throw in all of the screws into that box. Everything's looking seriously overexposed again. But I think the black looks fine. As long as the black is looking okay, that's okay. So sliding that... Oh, no. Oh, no, no, no. Okay, we need to go into the sides first. It's got one of those top IOs, which is linked to the top panel. So it means that when you slide it and try and pull it up, it doesn't pull up because it's all linked. Yeah, Canon 80D, good camera. Lot of control over it. And the main reason for getting that one over any other camera was the... Please don't fall off. Was the 60 frames per second 1080p on it. Although that's kind of old news now. I kind of purchased that. Okay, so that's a pretty solid panel. I'm not going to complain about that too much. It really is quite rigid. It has that standard flex to it, as it's quite, you know, sort of thin profile sheet. But I mean, it's got good weight to it, and it's got a decent sort of filter to it, a foam-like filter. So I'll throw that back here. Hope it doesn't short anything out. Oh yeah, one thing that I should mention there, should note there, has got a interesting M1 thing down the side, some sort of sticker or something. It's not a sticker itself, although it's sort of looks like it's adhesively adhered, as it were. Okay, I have fears about the other side now. Okay, we'll rip this one off next and see how that goes. What am I streaming on now? I'm streaming on what software or what? Okay, software is OBS and cameras are 3 Logitech C920s, 290s. I can't remember what they're called. I had it written down somewhere, but I have no idea now. It's the one that is popular because it's relatively okay. Doesn't cause too many problems overall. Okay, so we've got ourselves an open system or an opened case. So in terms of wiring and stuff, I'm just going to take the wiring out so I can get this top panel off. It's always good to clear out the case as best as possible. Oh, I don't like the look of all these cables. This is quite a busy little system, to be fair, for such a small case. Or small case, it's actually relatively a small case, to be fair. How the hell is that going to come off? What is it stuck to? Is it just stuck to to everything? Yes, it's just stuck to everything. So this is the first in what was named by the sickness as an interactive review. And I should probably have labelled the thing like that, but we will... Teething errors, we'll get through it. But the whole idea is that this is a video format that I can knock out every now and then. Nothing too... They've got extension lead cables on those ones. So you can see all this. There's an extension cable to the previous cables. So that's something. I mean, that's kind of good. It means you can sort of rip everything out and sort of cable manage things halfway and then link that up afterwards, but then you haven't got extension cables for these things here. So none for these, but some for these. So it's a little bit weird as to what kind of direction or angle they were going for. They kind of went for one and then realized they couldn't do it for the others. So I think that's what's happened. Okay, so it looks like 240 or 280, a 280mm radiator could go up here, it would appear. So we can unscrew a screw at the top here, remove this, and we have ourselves this plastic panel. It's quite flimsy in nature, but I don't think it's designed to be anything more extreme than that. But yeah, so that looks like it's two 140mm radiators or 140mm fans, and then additional from there. Haven't really looked a lot into the specs of this system. So getting the front off is probably going to be one of those pop things. Oh no, there's tabs inside. Okay, I can live with this. Actually, there's these bits of tape around the side. You can see one down here, which is holding on the front lower section. Actually, that's not even having an impact. Something is, but I don't know what it is. think it's just me being silly. Yep. I prefer these tabs. I prefer these tabs to the standard pop-on, pop-off pieces, because they just seem so flimsy, where you just grab the front of the case and just rip it off and just see how it goes. They just seem awful. Those I prefer. Actually not going too badly. I thought this was a little bit, potentially a little bit rougher than it would be. So I can peel that off now. If I peel that off there, and there. So let's see. So that the idea of that one is that you can pop it off the same as the other one. Oh, okay, and then you've got access to a 5.5-inch bay there, and some sort of, I'm guessing, some sort of expansion card slot thing. So that's interesting. So you could, I mean, you could technically have your traditional, your classic CD case or CD driver there, which is not too bad. Oh. No. I don't know if you can see this in the bottom view here. This. So that top one is not for that at all. That's like a. That's a hard. No. Is that a hot swap hard? That's a hot swap 3.5-inch hard disk caddy. That's pretty cool. So that goes in there. I want to try that. I'm not going to use it, but I want to try it. I'm not sure if it works for 2.5-inch drives. Has it got mounting for it? Yes, it does. That's really cool. So, let's see. Is this just a quick oh, it is as well. Okay, so you can see on both screens, sort of. So if I slot this 3.5-inch drive into the various slots that it needs to be in, so I think it's just a case of pulling the clips over and just hoping it slots into position. That's interesting. Okay, that's in place now. And then that installation is, I'm not sure if you can see, in the small view down there, there's some, in fact I may bring it even further forward, just for the sake of doing this. I'm not sure if this is going to make much sense to you guys. You can see in the corner there. In fact, I may even have to change my... Have I got a view set up for this? I do not. I don't have a view for that, which is annoying. But you might be able to get the idea. There's a disconnect there. There's a quick installation point there. That is really interesting. So in theory then, I just slot this into here. And it is plugged in. Huh. That's really interesting. I mean, this is one of these things where you take a look at a random case and you look at it for what it's worth on the exterior, and you go, oh, that's like an interesting case. You buy something you like the look of, that you would like to have, and then it turns out that it's actually really damn interesting. That's so cool. So I mean, that could be for your... What's it like coming out? Okay, that's not too bad. It doesn't sound great going in and out, but I mean, that's pretty cool. So I'm wondering, for myself then... Oh yeah, that... Oh yeah. That's something that that I have to mention now, is that the drives that I would normally use for this build... I wonder if I can just swap camera. It's jarring, I'm sorry, but the drives I normally put in these builds are... Oh, I did have a knife over there. I'm not in my range right now, but at the moment this is all running off the test bench. So this stream is running off the test bench, which has got a 6700K. It's got the original L9i, which you can't see on here because it's actually doing work, trying to do some work running this stream, which is doing a good job of. Any sort of fan noise you can hear in the background, it's not the L9i. It's actually the cheaper power supply that I have. I think the Dark Power Pro is going to fit in just fine here. So it's just as a rough markup. I'm not putting in any 2.5-inch drive. This is an absolute monster of a machine. This really is. You could do something crazy with this thing. And I'm throwing that in there for the fun. That's just so interesting. That's impressive. So let's just go over very quickly, and I'll turn it all back to that because nobody wants to see my ugly mug. In terms of drive capacity, then, up top we have two 2.5-inch drive bays, which looks like they're just quick slot drives, which there is, and Zalman do a great job of this. In all credit to Zalman, because I've actually got one of their other cases. Although the build quality of the, I think it's the ZH11F, God knows what it is. They put in a nice quick seal packet in here, and I know it's so overexposed, but they put a nice quick seal packet in here, and it's got a slider on it, and then you have all the stuff in here. They've got decent presentation. But up at the top, and I'm gonna do this again, I'm very sorry. Up at the top, they've got two 2.5-inch drive slots, which looks like, based on the sort of hook-style nature of what's going on here, is they'll be just super quick install with some screws and some rubber grommets either side, and that's your install done. So 2 in the slot, so two 2.5-inch drives in the top. Then we've got 3.5-inch drive or 2.5-inch drive caddies in the front, which is pretty cool. I'm sorry about chat, I'll get on to chat in a second. I'm just having a real riot over here. This is really cool. And then we have in the front then, we have a 5.5 or 5.25-inch bay in the front to slot in your disk drive, your CD drive, but that can also be covered up by that panel we saw earlier, which is great. They need to update this for like tempered glass or something, because this is like, this would be a really damn cool case. And then we have another 3.5-inch drive at the front then, which was that quick disconnect caddy in the front, which is here. So in total then, you can put in 3 3.5-inch drives or 3 2.5-inch drives, and then two 2.5-inch drives in the top. That's very interesting. And I suppose you could adapt the 2.5-inch, the 3.5-inch, or 5.25-inch in the bottom to do a 3.5-inch or like a double 2.5-inch drive as well if you got an adapter. That is damn cool. I'm really glad I checked this case out, because this is just such a weird thing that I just really wouldn't consider otherwise. Very strange. And it's a mini ITX case as well. It's not a very small one either. Anyway, let's get on to do a little bit of chat. Sorry. We do the stream because we have the chat. So let's see. I actually need to. So okay, okay. Mention which system. Which system I'm using instead of laptop. Oh yeah. So I think I covered that then. I actually didn't see the chat message come up, but yeah. So we're running off the test bench. We actually haven't got a graphics card on the test bench. Thankfully, the 6700K, and obviously, you know, and the reason I'm saying thankfully is because Ryzen doesn't have onboard graphics. And I'm not saying that's against Ryzen. I really do like the idea of Ryzen stuff, and if I was going to do a new build now for the work I do, it would be Ryzen. Anyway. Thankfully, the 6700K has onboard graphics, so I can use the onboard graphics of it to run this stream now, which is great. We'll run the system, and the stream is running off, it's being encoded by the CPU, which is pretty much how streams are being encoded nowadays. Although before, if I have a graphics card, I'll use MVC or coding, also NVEC coding, or the AMD's version of that. I can't remember what's what. But that's the idea. So that's that covered. And I've also got the two 2.5-inch drives I would be putting in this case now on there, because I couldn't do anything last minute with the system, with my laptop system, to transfer the data over to a drive and make a stream drive. And that's what I need to do. I will be doing a stream drive, and in fact I will be resurrecting a first generation i7 system, which was my first, like my kind of my first, not my actual first system. My first system was like a 95. Windows 95 system. RM was the make of that. But I will be resurrecting my first kind of custom system, which is a... It's a something. It's a 950, I think it is. i7 950, which is a 3.06 gigahertz processor, which is... we'll be resurrecting that and seeing if we can make a stream machine out of that. I haven't uploaded my... I haven't put my... this week's video live. I'm sorry guys, I should have done that before. In fact, here's a good question for you guys. Do you guys want to see an SSD or a laptop hard disk drive to SSD upgrade. Very much information based, just testing an old hard disk drive in a laptop with a new SSD, a really cheap £20 SSD. Or do you want to see the dust versus performance video, which I have been teasing for quite a while, and I have in mind to upload or put live the dust versus performance system. Anyway, so yeah, so that's the system that's running now. So what's visible? I don't know what's visible. Oh, it's probably the camera thing. I get it. Cool. I will have to check this more often. This is really a thing you want on a micro ATX build. Yeah. I'm not sure if I mentioned. Is mini ITX. Yeah. So I mean, at this point, why bother with mini ITX? Just go full ATX. For this case, you just really couldn't. There's just no way you could. There is wasted space down the sides. You can see down there. There's wasted space down the sides there, which is a bit of a shame. But I mean, I think you could make more use of that, perhaps. Maybe some more cable management down the sides or something. But I mean, that's a really cool slot in itself there. So I mean, there's not really much to cable manage there anyway. But I mean, this really isn't the least efficient build. This is really like your gaming system NAS style computer. This is to do everything. This isn't just to be a gaming build system. So yeah, it looks like it really is jack of all trades. Master of none perhaps, but yeah, so it certainly looks like a jack of all trades. If you want to go hardcore on your hard drives, this is the way to do it. Or this is the kind of way you could do it, an option. So anyway, yes. It's not like that type of hot swap where you have to take off the front panel. You don't have to take the front panel off. It has this quick panel disconnect thing here. So you pop that like that, and then you slot it out, and slot it back in, and then you click that back in place. And the same with the top panel. You click that, and when it wants to, it'll pop out. You get the picture. So it really can do quite a lot. Although you'd have to be careful that those don't somehow go defective over time. But I mean, I think that's a really awesome way of doing it. So the idea then is that when this slots over the front, you already get the picture, I know this, but I will just, for the sake of doing it, you can pull out the drive there, out of that front slot. And you can't see it, but it's there. So yeah, it's interesting. It's not like you can oh, that's a hot swap that you're going to use forever, but imagine this use case, which isn't everyone's use case. You might have a system that you are, I don't know, you need to transfer a pile of data, or maybe you're setting up a system for someone else, and you're just wanting to, upload data to it, get it all set up with Windows and that sort of crap. You just slot it into this drive here, get your friend's new system drive, throw it in here, do all the work to it, set it up, and then afterwards you just pull it out and you change out the, in fact it works better that way, and you just peel it off, send them their drive, and then slot this back in place. And it also has room for 2.5-inch drives. It has the holes there to mount it with the quick slot disconnect stuff. That's, as far as I'm concerned, that is a really awesome feature. And this will be amazing for somebody who's constantly swapping drives over and just throwing up data and setting up systems. Also needs a lot of data storage. Kind of like, I don't know, kind of like small business style thing. Small PC business style thing. Who knows, custom stuff. I mean, I'm so tempted to actually use this for the upcoming NAS and because this was cheap. I'm thinking of upcoming NAS, security, and router. Thinking this might be the case. Huh. Anyway, right. So let me just fly through these very quickly. M-ATX is cheaper than ATX, correct? Except as mini ITX, which in fact most mini ITX boards price. Entry mid tier, yeah. The mini ITX boards are generally quite expensive ones in the whole scheme of things. Micro ATX is kind of the sweet spot. Something like I actually had somebody, I'm not sure if anyone checked it out or anyone saw it on the last video. I think it was the water cooled video for the Thermaltake level 20 VT, the water cooled version of that. If you go over to there and sort by if you go over there, sorry about that, and sort by newest comment first, somebody just said AV Techy is, and then I'm not going to swear right now, although I have sworn a little bit, but it was blurred. But AV Techy is S word, 4 letters. You get the picture. And I asked, can you elaborate on that? And he just said, and he said that I was, he thought I was small form factor racist, and that was unusual. And I thought, have you actually seen any of my channel? I've got, not that one. Everything I cover is small form factor when it comes to cases. I mean, even this being a huge case, it's still technically small form factor, and not really, but it has all the components you would use for it, or some of them, at least the board is that way. But anyway, yeah, somebody called me that, and that was really strange. They've also pre-installed the standoffs, which is nice. I'm gonna throw in the rear I/O while I look at another one. I should work and chat. I'll do it without looking as well, which is always the trick. Cubes I find really irritating. Looking at a sort of cube case, it's kind of tower, but it is cube in the sense that it has a flat bottom layout. Let me throw back actually to the previous view. Sorry for the jarring switch. I would try and make it better, but I don't know. But yes, so does it claim to be small factor? Probably not. No, I don't think it does. Based on the thing, it just says simple and stylish high performance case, PC case. They should have. It says mini ITX PC case. They really should have marketed this as just more of a major system than it, or to support more of a sort of major system than it could. They haven't gone gamery. It just has high performance PC case, and anything can be that. As depends on the PC you put inside the system. Miles Olson TJ08E is like third size of this, has nearly the same hard drive density and better cooling. Yeah, one thing I think missed opportunity definitely was I'll bring up in the main review, which the point of this is that this is more like, this is like a research stream. We're checking this out and we're seeing what it's capable of. I'm building a system in it now. I may tweak the system afterwards just to swap in the drives that are in the test bench running this stream. But yeah, so we'll get all of our information from this, and then I'll do a quick follow-up video, which should only take me about 3 days, maybe 3-4 nights or evenings after work to compile. Then I upload that as a quick review, and it means I've sort of gained back a couple of days so that I can do perhaps bigger projects in the background on the rest of the days of the week. And yeah, that's the idea of this stream. So hopefully we can have a bit of fun doing this, and we can also make a little quick video of it. I'll do my B-roll. I'll do B-roll of all the bits I liked. I'll also bring in bits of this stream footage now, so I can, say, look, this is a cool little thing that I found, and we'll see. I'll do some close-up crap or something like this, but with the other camera maybe, and yeah, that might be the way to do it. I don't know, but I haven't really got really high quality camera, so blowing things up might be awful. Okay, so that's in there. I think power supply unit I think I'm going to do first actually before I do this, and here is something that I think is really interesting in its own right, which is something I saw, and actually that's what I touched to give me the static charge, which is you always have to touch something to generally break off static charge. We have this handle down here. I'll put it a little sideways maybe. There you go. So we have this handle down here, and it's like a steel handle. In fact, we're going close cam again. So we have this this sort of steel handle here. I'll see if I can get some contrast. It seems super overkill for what it is. It's nice to have, but I mean, does it need to be that freaking like that big? Let's keep the jokes to an adult standard. But yeah, I mean, it really doesn't need to be the way it's built, but it just, yeah. So it is what it is though. So we'll do our first screwdrivering of the day. I'm gonna try and keep the ratcheting to a minimum. I would actually like to get a, I think I actually have got one, but the battery power on it's so bad that I can't be bothered. But I like a little electric screwdriver because it prevents me having to do this, but it doesn't take that long. If I was like, okay, that fell off straight away. Okay, so that's the sort of bracket thing. So I'm not sure if that's more useful to you, probably. But that's the bracket thing then, so that was where you mount your power supply unit to, which we'll do now. So I'll throw this out of the way. Decent weight to it. It has got a lot of stuff though, so it doesn't mean that it's just a lot of cheap stuff as opposed to, some little some sort of cheap, flimsy or really heavy, high quality thing. That's not a thing I want, that's the thing I want. One day. Okay. So I'm invoking the fan boxes. That should do. There we go. So, I mean, that's so overexposed, but I don't want to touch it again. If I use things that weren't... There we go. That's the ticket. If I use things that aren't white, things are better. That's not... Don't take that any further than I said it. That's just a... what are we going? Are we going to go fan side down? Yeah, we're going fan side down, so I need to make sure that this is there on that side. It doesn't really bother me fan side up or down, but in this case, because we've got the motherboard right above it, it looks like there's loads of room. Okay, it doesn't look like there's as much room as I thought there was. So yeah, so now we need to grab the accessories bag and see if we have screws for this. I'm not a huge fan of this kind of slot-in thing, but I mean, it does make sense in certain circumstances. Okay, so let me see if I can get back to chat. Sorry, I'm very all over the place. It'd be nice if you could resize these things. Okay, I think I accidentally splashed some drink the other day, and that's gone slightly sticky, so I do need to sort this out. Okay. I'm not sure I'd label what I'm saying as a retort, so that sounds quite aggressive, as opposed to some people like this kind of thing, and I agree this is great for certain use cases, but not for some people. Let's see if we got any specific. Those look like motherboard screws. Okay, so they've assumed, and they've assumed correctly, that you will have your own set of screws for your power supply unit that come with your power supply unit, which is fair. You don't need to have a pile of screws, like 60 different types of screws, or 60 different screws for one thing when they come with your power supply unit. So we'll throw some in here. In fact, those are, because we've got this huge bracket there, I think, shall I just go with the ones that came with this system? Yeah, got these really long ones here. But yeah, I mean, it's not exactly small form. I don't know what the definition of small form factor is, though, so I can't be sure and just say this is definitely not small form factor, because for all I know, not knowing the definition, just because it's technically mini ITX, it's not small, it is small form factor. Who knows? I mean, is small form factor limited to the size of the case? Is there a certain literage you have to be hitting for it to be, technically classified? Okay, these are just not going to work. I don't like these screws that came with the Dark Power Pro. Really didn't. They're just awkward as hell. But we will be able to find some screws in here that actually will work for us. Let's see. Got a fourth one that matches? No, we don't. But we will make do with these. Yep, that'll do. Okay, let's see. There's a ton of wasted space. I don't know. I don't think there is a ton of wasted space. I think it's actually relatively reasonably sized. There is some wasted space on the sides, but it really doesn't seem that there's a ton of wasted space. I was talking to the sickness. Oh God, I don't know. But I'll just talk generally. I mean no offense or ill will to anyone. I'm just gonna throw. Oh, that was awful. That's okay. I thought that was all screwed in, but it's not. But I'm talking generally. I mean no offense to anyone. I mean no ill will. But anyway, yeah. I don't know what the technical small factor stuff is. But anyway, let's see. This is okay. 4-letter word, begin with S. Going past that one. Let's see. The only thing would be good for the only thing would be good for is an embedded platform system. Or for NAS, but if that is needed, they're significantly better. But I think that there are better cases designed for this sort of thing. Definitely. I'm trying to think now what my NAS is gonna be in this thing, or overall, and I'm not even double I mean, double checking this, is this even big enough for the NAS that I want? So what am I going to go for? I think, whether I go for like 2 4TB drives or something, and raid them together in RAID 1. Maybe, but I could go for, you know, 4TB drives, but I'm not going to go for it. But you know, there's a few things that I could go down. I'm thinking 4TB is what I'll need eventually for a NAS. So I mean, there's 2 3.5-inch slots here for that. I could do the 2 2.5-inch, you know, with 4TB, but in all honesty, I prefer 3.5-inch ones, to be honest. I think they're generally, there's a reason they exist, but I mean, to be honest, servers mostly use, at least the ones that I've sort of been exposed to, use 2.5-inch drives all over. So you can throw way more in, and you can RAID them together for much higher speeds because they're individual drives that you can multiply speeds with through RAID. But anyway, right, let's see. I'm installing Red Dead 2 on the Xbox One X right now. Red Dead looks great. Red Dead does look great. It's not on, is it on PC? No, it's not on PC, hence why, because I think I saw Bitwit do a video saying why he had to go and buy an Xbox or PlayStation, and he went Xbox, and I'm not really bothered. There was a time where I was like, oh yeah, this console or that console, and it's like, real gamers use this or that, and it's like, at the moment, it really depends on what you want to play. They're kind of the same system, kind of, not really, a little bit, so I'm not going to get into that. I'm behind a box, but I'm trying to put my head outside so I can actually seem coherent. Can I? This is how some builds go. I'll take the Dark Power Pro box out, and I'll put the foam back in. It really is a very nice foam packing they did for this. Neat, relatively efficient, and definitely worth it because this cost quite a fair bit. I'm glad I went for something like this high end for the systems that I build, even though they're not like, oh, it's a really powerful system, it's not very cool system. I want something that's very reliable and very quiet was what I was going with when I bought this, so that's what I went for. Okay, let's see. Like I said, because there is no rail for the power supply units, there is like a support for it, and there are actually, I kid you not. I actually kid you not. Just noticed them myself. Sorry, this is like small screen. In fact, no. I'm going to, and I'm very sorry I'm doing this midstream, but I'm going to, let's see. I'm gonna go to. I apologize, I'm doing this now, but there's a good reason for it. Front cam. No. Low camera needs to come down here, and then the top camera needs to go up the corner. I swear there is a good reason. I swear there's a good reason. I just realized my top camera is slightly blown up as well, which is probably not helping with anything. But I'll get there. I'll get there. Because I realize that this is just not going to be helpful in the slightest when it comes to trying to make anything useful afterwards. Right. So, there you go. No, failed. You fail, you fail. Low camera needs to go behind. Top camera needs to go behind everything. There you go. There you go. It's all okay. It's back. Oh, and the change hasn't happened. There we go. That happened. Okay. Okay, good. So, in terms of runners, I actually kid you not. Can you see the wheels? That shiny thing you can see here, that's a wheel. Although it's kind of doesn't rotate very well. I will say this, it doesn't rotate well, but it is technically a wheel. It has some rotation, if very, very awful. It's more of a slider, I'd say, but I mean, that's interesting. So it can slide things along. Wow, that is just awful. What? Oh, jeez. I apologize. I apologize. 1,000 apologies. Okay. So yeah, so I mean that's weird. That's weird. So let's just double check things. Because there's no rail. I mean, so yeah. I mean, yeah. I think you're going a bit hardcore on this. I think you are going a bit hardcore on this. I'm not trying to be some fanboy because frankly, I didn't like the last Zalman case I used, and I haven't used one since. But this seems fairly okay. I'm not going to say it's amazing because it's not amazing, but it is for what it is. It's interesting. I'm more interested in the fact that it's interesting rather than it's the best design I've ever seen, because the features I'm seeing here in terms of what's included, even though it's not amazing build quality, it is a pretty rich feature set for... Okay, so we have a graphics card, of course, so we're going to need our graphics card cables, which are there. We also have a pile of drives, which we will need drives for, which we will find. That's Molex. If I wanted to go... Oh yeah, that's the thing. The front, and if I can transition between the two, if I set up the transition button, I will be golden on this. Ah, oh, look at that. There you go. To the front there, you'd have to connect Molex for the back, which is a bit of a pain, maybe, because then that means, in fact, no, it is a pain, because you would have to actually have a Molex connector from your power supply unit, which I don't know about anyone else, but I certainly don't have Molex on tap when it comes to my builds. I'm going automatic as well for the exposure for this camera, so that when I do something like fly it over here and go to there, that it might update itself a bit better. Okay. Automatic exposure and automatic focusing. So we'll see blurring, but that should be better. But it does have, it does have Molex at the back there, so I don't like that too much. I prefer if it was SATA data straight through, or SATA power straight through, because I mean that makes more sense for me. I don't want to have to run another Molex connector, even though there is an individual Molex connector on this box here, so that's fine. But yeah, so yeah, pros, cons, pros, cons. Like that's the individual Molex connector, so that's fine. But yeah, I don't know. Personally, I wouldn't like it because most of the time you don't have individual Molexes and it just becomes annoying. So I need SATA, definitely need SATA. And I think I'm going to throw them into the sides, into the side bays. Not because of any reason, well, the only reason in particular is because I want to be able to access them. So yeah, that should be good. I mean access them, I want to be able to slot them all together and use one SATA data harness rather than using 6, because that becomes annoying. Oh, I got a power cable in here, that's nice. They do a nice job being quiet. There's so much stuff in here I don't use, but they do a good job. Good job regardless, so yeah. Multiple points. I think that's it. I'm going to put that on the side there. Always good to have a box on the side. And it's always good to not seal every box you use up when you're in the middle of builds, because you always generally need one, unless you're actually good at this stuff, and then you won't. So PCI Express. Don't think anyone needs to see PCI Express plug the slots being connected. So that's that. So now it's time for the installation of the drive, which well, the drive? Is this a drive of any kind? No, it's not. So I'm filling those in. So I'm not sure whether flipping it over would be an actual good thing to do, but I'm actually going to resize as well. That. Okay, so if I went to, if I swapped them out now, then you can actually see what's that. Does this work for anyone? I don't know. I don't know. Either way, interesting case. I suppose you could just actually flip it over. No, I don't think it's symmetrical actually, so I don't think you can flip it over. They could have made it symmetrical, and this could have been interchangeable. You could have had the handle on the bottom, but they didn't. Therefore you can't. Can you? Maybe. 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 In fact, I want to try that now. Let's see. I'm not. This isn't its final resting place, but this is. There's wheels doing not a lot for anything. Yeah, there. Yeah, look at that. That is a missed opportunity and a half. That's a blunder. What do they do that for? Look at this. So we're gonna go. Oh jeez. Okay. So I push that into position. It's very slightly not in line. It's probably best seen at the top one. Please focus. Why would you not focus? There you go. It's very slightly not in line, so that's where it's supposed to sit. You can push it down, but it's still not quite in line. Which is weird. And annoying. So yeah, you would have to, if you wanted to last minute, if you wanted to have that on the bottom or something, then you would have to flip around. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Silica gel. If anyone saw my Thermaltake level 20 VT video, silica gel. This is what silica gel looks like. Thermaltake, this is what silica gel looks like. You put it inside your case and it means you don't get moisture damage on the rear of the front IO PCB. That should be standard, and it always has been. I don't know why it wasn't with the level 20 case. Okie dokie. So sliding this back in. So yeah, this is very much. So that front area then, if you're not using your case for. If you're not using your front 5 1/4 inch bay, I would probably recommend going for no longer than a 160mm, a 160mm power supply unit. This is 180mm, so a little bit beefier. But you can use this entire bay then for cable management, or for excess cables, as opposed to actual cable management, which is just making things very tidy in the space you have. It is cable management of a kind, but you could use that entire slot there. I'm just going to quickly put these screws in here in a way that is efficient in terms of time. It's like one of those things I used to do in every video I used to show how every screw went together. Every screw went into its position, but now, no, because I realised no one cares. Who cares about how the power supply unit screws go in? Only unless, in a case like this, you wanted to have that front panel a different way around, and it's very slightly misaligned. I think you can wrangle it into place, but it's not super clean. They could have done better. So yeah, if I need more drives later, that's not that bad to pull back out, so that's kind of okay. So I'll switch back. So let's sorry, just gonna very quickly check chat from where I laid off last. Wow, I'm so lost. I'm so lost. How's what's going build getting on? Yeah, no idea. I'm so just, yeah. If the water cooling was reference to the sickness, his build is going very interestingly, in a very positive sense. Very interestingly. If it was mine's already done, so that should be up on the channel, so you can go check that out. Okay, so power supply unit is in. I think next thing, I think I'm just gonna throw the drives in next. In fact, I haven't even got any drives. I got one drive. I'll find one drive. Let me find a drive. I could populate every bay with a drive because there are so many ones that I just have no use for now. And I would actually only probably barely just fill this job. Okay, well that's a problem for another day. I can't find the drive. Alright, well it looks like we're installing the CPU. Well, CPU, the whole motherboard. We did put the I/O in position. So I'm thinking now, just want to make sure everyone can see that we're actually putting this in, as opposed to just hoping that people can see. Okay, there's that. And there's that. God, it's annoying how the frame rates tank. The frame rate in the top left corner is so good now, and this one's just so bad. Right. So front I/O is in position. I have got, and whether I need this or not, I have got an extension cable from the CPU, 4-pin CPU, a fan header, because, and I might change that out for a triple one, because the CPU fan header on this particular motherboard, as are many motherboards, which people just don't realize, and so many of these, like, that's one thing I find drives me nuts, when a big channel just goes, yeah, 4-pin fan header, it's PWM. Yep, that's PWM fan header. Any 4-pin? Look, look, there's some 4 pins, and that it means it's PWM. Does not mean it's PWM. If you check your manual, you will check that the 5th pin or 4th pin on many of those are ground pins, which have nothing to do with PWM. So it means you have DC. Jeez, that's tight. That's jeez. Is anyone just as surprised as I am by that? Although probably not. I mean, that is, for all intents and purposes, a very tight situation. Jesus. That's incredible. So let's put it this way. You couldn't put a Thermalright Macho Rev B in this. It's probably worth saying that now. Wouldn't fit. Not a chance. Can barely fit in a side Mugen 5. There's no way you could ever fit in anything bigger. I'm assuming that this is the right motherboard screw, but I'm kind of doubting that is now. So I think that was the power supply screw. So they did actually include them. So are these, because you get standoffs that deal with the larger thread, and then you have ones like this which deals with the smaller thread. So this is using 2.5-inch drive threads, which is the 1.2 millimeter or 1.25 millimeter thread or whatever it is. So that's interesting. So they did include them. I was just assuming too much. I had an assumption, but it doesn't look like there'll be enough for pretty much. That's. I need a longer screwdriver, or a thinner screwdriver, one or the other. Can I? Is there an extender that I have anywhere? I think I have an extender. Probably throw this into here somewhere and like actually show how everything is going together. But the field of view is so small. I can't really make anything workable from it. I'll do that. I'll do that if that helps. I don't know. Install the audience into the case. I did try. Okay. I'm just gonna try and just leave chat alone. I'm sorry. I'm way behind. I'm so sorry. I'll leave chat because me trying to catch up is just never gonna work. Right. Let me see. I've got my toolbox here. Let me see if there's a. I can't find the extender for that, so I'm gonna just go with a thin screwdriver. Although I did have my other one. Oh no, that's on the side Mugen 5. It's in that box. Okay, this just. Okay, I'm gonna try and show this one. This is a tight fit. By every measurable way, this is a tight fit. And there's no way that this live stream is 2 hours long. No way. Is it? No way. No. 1 hour. It's gotta be. It's not 2 hours long. When did we start? It's like 7. No. My time's the wrong one. Oh, that's why it's showing wrong. Jeez, yes. My thank you very much, Thomas. My system hasn't actually caught up to like the actual time on the internet yet. Or I think one of the settings needs changing of automatically detect time and automatically detect the solstice of whatever. You know what I mean. I need a miniature screwdriver. In fact, I will use just this bit. This slot in here. Due to... Oh, look at that. It's Seption. It's somethingception. I can't get the screwdriver, even like a thin thing like this, down through here and actually make it round that corner. It just doesn't work. It has to go at an angle. So you would need a small screwdriver in here, or what I'm doing now. And there's actually, I'm not sure if you can see there, there's actually the RAM clearance on the Mugen 5 is actually allowing this to happen. So appreciate that from the from Scythe. Don't think they saw this, but it's happening. Good. Perfect. Okay, well that's yeah. That's about as tight as you can get for that, I'm gonna say. So when it comes to in terms of cable management now for putting things through into different areas, we have on the right there, we got some pretty decent cable management for your fan or your CPU there and your fan areas here. So those can go straight down there. This hasn't got windows. Wow, I really should not do this like this, but I just did. So there you go, there's your fan cables down there, and you've got plenty of space over here for all of your motherboard stuff and your SATA cables and things like that to go through. That will take you round to the other side. Watch exposure go to crap. So yeah, so more cable management areas here. Not sure about those. I'm assuming audio, and I mean you've got USB 3. That's an awkward USB 3. I always hate vertical mounting USB 3s. Or whichever way you would actually technically call them. Depending on which way you look at it, I guess. Depending on which way it is it vertical, is it not? So there we go, so that's that. That's all in place now. Every screw is in place. That's secured. Next phase then, that's a 3-pin, yep, 3-pin. Never get 4 pins. But anyway, to finish off my point, I find it really irritating when you have these big YouTube channels that, just say, yeah, any like 4-pin, yeah, so PWM, it's got like 3 PWM headers on this board. It's like, no, this board has got 3 PWM, 3 fan connectors, 4 pins, but it's only got 1 PWM fan, PWM compliant fan header. The rest are non-compliant. They're all DCs, but they have 4 pins. It's just the 4th pin is either a ground or it's not connected to anything, which is annoying, but it is what it is. Okay, so next step then, I guess, is just let's connect up the motherboard power. Let's get these big cables out of the way. Actually, I'm not going to do that now because I'm going to come into problems with this ITX board because the slots, the front I/O slots are here, and that's right next to the power. And I could do it, but I'm going to have to wait for the power until afterwards, and as a final like finishing move there. So I think graphics card wise, choose the size you want. Let's choose this one, and by choose I mean there's no choice here. I have one. So yeah, don't know if that's apparent as to how large of a graphics card you can throw in here, but I mean EVGA GTX 1070 for the win. What's that? 260 maybe? Yeah, more premium boards do tend to go that way, but they still do miss out on a lot of occasions. The really high end ones, it'll pretty much all be PWM. But for mid range boards, I mean, yeah, you will still be struggling in lots of areas to find more than one being the CPU. I mean, I don't think I've got one here that has got anything else other than a singular PWM fan header. You have to look at the motherboard manual, and you can do that before you buy any motherboard. You can look at the manual and just see, is this how many PWM slots does this have? Flick through to like page 20 or something, and you'll find it somewhere there. That's not universal, by the way. Also need to look after my voice, because I will have to talk at some point in work, and that will be difficult when I have no voice. Okay, cracking. So that's that. I mean, what else is there really to do? Is it just, let's connect everything up, I guess. Okay, so let me just double check through some things. We can play about video games. Okay, yes. Can play like that's tight. When you put a cooler the size of a bread box into a case the size of a mini fridge with a motherboard the size of a tortilla, yeah, it's gonna be a mess. That's a good way of putting it. Yep. Do you have your own setup? Do you do you have a own setup, or do you invest all the money into this channel? And why didn't you stream with the 80D? Or are you? Oh, 80D. Sorry, camera. Why don't I stream with the 80D? I haven't got a capture card. It has got a mini HDMI out. But I haven't got a capture card, so I can't, like, you know, and they cost quite a lot, so I don't think I'm going to be able to get one of those for a while. Not unless a really cheap one comes around, and I would do that then, because it would make for a much better streaming experience. I could have a really wide shot there with the 80D, so I would do that. Do you have your own setup when you invest all the money channel? In terms of money wise, yeah, I invest everything here is what I bought, and then I sell it. So apart from things like when I do CPU cooler showdowns, like I did this one, and this is the one I'm using now, which I haven't actually mentioned, to be honest. I am using the Side Mugen 5 for all my 160mm and smaller case builds and case testing stuff. So that's why this is here. But yeah, so boards, I need to keep the boards. Cases generally go. I have still got the Master Case Pro 3 because I kind of want to use that for my like NAS thing or whatever. I have a feeling my mate Joe is going to advise on using that than this, because this would just be too tight, and potentially performance wise might want some more cooling than this. I mean, I can put in a 2000 RPM fan in the back, a 2000 RPM fan in the front, but even then still tight. And for a NAS build then I'd actually need to buy pretty much all the components, which would mean I'd be set way back, so I'm not sure if I can afford to do that right now. But maybe next year, maybe when ad revenue happens to be better or something, I can look at that. But as of now, I don't think I can do anything like that. So that, yeah, let's go into like just connecting some stuff, just so we can keep things rolling. Yeah, great thanks to people who are on Patreon, by the way. If there's any money stuff to be talked about on this channel, the people from Patreon do need to be thanked for all their hard-earned cash that goes into helping this. Because it all does build up, and it does mean I can do things. Like, I was able to buy the majority of my test bench, as in just the test bench, not the components, so the case itself, the Core P3, with money from those dear kind souls who support the Patreon, which is always fantastic. It takes a load off my back and my bank in that sense, when I can do little things like that. And I can just get purchases, well, it was £100, it's not really little, like that out of the way, without being a little, you know, too hard done by it. And I have got some plans for some DIY stuff, and I have got a Dremel, which I will be looking into using. Okay, so that's that. We have CPU power. We'll swap everything around. I did put the motherboard in. I did realise it was slightly more doable than I thought it was initially, so I did plug that in just then. Sorry, I did not show it. That's not. Where's the? Don't. CPU power. Is that really not? That's not a thing. See, this is the. Okay. And that's why you don't put your motherboard box away, because you're gonna need to. Thumb screws. Fantastic. Is that just good? Oh no. Okay, I did this completely the wrong way around. Sometimes you just hate yourself. Sometimes you know you hate yourself because you do things like this. They just look so inviting. So I had to do it. I had to unscrew those. So I need to unscrew these to get to my power supply unit and plug in the CPU power, because I was so used to using the other one that I've completely forgotten that this one doesn't have it by default. It has the motherboard, which is fine. That's not a good camera angle. Let me help you out there. That's better. Although I'm probably going to block everything now, so that'll make no difference to anyone. Gotta keep in mind that people are watching this. People need to see things. Okay, so there we go. So I need to now wrangle in. Oh, this looks awful. So P8, P4 is what I want, and this is what I need. Dun, 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 dun. Need to buy some cable management sleeving as well. That's something that definitely needs to happen. P8, P4, that's the side I want, and it needs to go in. Come on, do the work for me. Yes. Okay, one more push, and then perfect. Sliding on those really bad wheels, but some sort of wheels nonetheless. We are back in business. They're just plastic with a screw in them, so they're not special, but they're something. They're something. If I slant it that way, it almost looks appealing. Why is the colour that colour now? Why have I got the screw here? That needs to go into the screw bin over there. I can pull it back into position. Nice. Okay. Let's see. If you came to see Knuckles, you can see Knuckles. Okay, so come on, that's that back in place. Who uses flatheads nowadays? Who uses a flathead screwdriver? They're awful. Apart from for really heavy applications, but then you'd use like a big Allen key or a hex head bolt or something. They're very old school, aren't they? Anyway, so you want to buy a computer? No, it's Mac. Or Linux. Never used Linux. That's something I haven't done, which I'll have to do at some point. Have to try out Linux. So now I'll only buy a BuildZoid approved board. Probably not a bad way to go. Okay. I have a feeling the chat's just died down, or if I'm just way out or something. Okay, I think I'm up to speed. So that's that now. So I think throwing in some SATA cables would not be a bad idea at this point, while everything is still relatively open. So let's see if I'll swap back to what I was at before. Have a little drink quickly. Okay. Oh yeah, so there's one thing I need to do. I'm not sure if I'm just going to do a quick video on it, or if I just do a live stream, or whatever. But I am going to do something to do with my laptop and its just painful demise. I need to sort it out at some point. But I am actually going to be making a stream build, which will probably be more interesting than that. So I think I might just try and fix the laptop on my own terms. Something like that. So, right, SATA cables. I haven't got any with me, but I will go and grab the bag of SATA cables, and we will see what we have there. If you can hear bangs in the background, people are going mental with fireworks, even though they missed the fireworks stuff was yesterday. Although it's today, isn't it? It's the 5th of November. I think I'm out. So people are celebrating it on the Monday, which is the 5th of... Yeah, today's day, 5th of November, yeah. Okay, so I need one SATA in there. Wow, that's extremely overexposed. And that's a better position for the camera to go in. But still not a very good position. Remember the 5th of November. I completely got the rhyme wrong then. And if I transition... Oh, it's amazing. Box cam. Hell yeah. It's National Donut Day. I like donuts. Oh, there we go. So these are the little grommets. It was in focus then. Come on. It's like I move it, then it moves back, and then I move forward and it doesn't move. Those are the grommets then that'll go into these slots up top. So you can see here, these are your 2.5-inch drive positions, and you have one of these grommets that will slot into there and pull back. And that's the position of the 2.5-inch drives. But when the camera decides, autofocusing is for losers, it decides not to do it. Okay. So there's a SATA, and we need another SATA. There's another SATA there. So one thing I don't like about this board, and here's one great reason to go for a single drive, is I will then not have to have more than one SATA connector. And yes, I could go M.2, but not all my boards are up to M.2, and I went through the rigmarole of setting up all of these boards to perform relatively identically, and I can't be bothered doing it again. So I'm going to need three of these installed in here. Actually, can I put one in there? Is that going to go in? Okay, good. So there's all my SATA cables then. One has to go over here because it doesn't... This is awful. Whoever put this here should be fired. Why would you put that there? And why wouldn't it focus? Doesn't it just make your eyes hurt? Anyway, yeah, so whoever did that there, yeah, they should be fired. I'm gonna need to, and I think I've just dug my own grave. I'm going to need to put this top panel on, and I think this is one of the problems I'm gonna have. Although, speaking of all of this stuff, this is why they've done it. This is why they've... Oh, this is... Okay, in fact, I entirely take back what I was saying earlier. They have these disconnects at the top. You can see in the top left view here. They have these disconnects here, these extenders here that you can use to... If I just pull that apart, yeah, it works. They don't have one on that one. Why do they not have one on this one? Why? This makes no sense. That's a reset. So the reset switch. So we've got all these ones. So we've got the LED. We've got the power. No, the power is on this one, isn't it? Yes, it is. So we've got power and the LEDs for the hard disk drive and the power switch. No, wait, where's my hard disk drive? No, wait, what? Do they not have one? This is getting weird. So they got reset switch, power, LED, and power button or power switch, but they don't have. This doesn't have a light for the air. There's no light. There's no light. That's strange. Okay, I mean, it would be nice to have the option of having a light. I would say that's not that much. I mean, this is nice, this quick disconnect thing, but I mean, it still, a light would be good. So hard disk drive LEDs, which we don't have one, and the power is top right, and then the power LEDs at top left. What's plus one? Every single time I have to go through this, I never remember it. Oh wow! Can you actually remove these bays? Yes, you can. You can remove the entire bay if you don't want it. And I say that as I become uncertain. There's screws. Oh no, it's not the bay that you can remove. It's other things. Right, I'm getting rid of these. This SATA cable that I put in preemptively. I'm also going to get rid of my RAM. Okay, it's only a single slot, so it's not there. Right, RAM goes. SATA goes. See? It's Salmon. Yeah, Zalman's a bit of a weird name that you won't come across too often. Where did I put them? I put them here. It's okay. So, power. At least I have power. Power's good. Hard disk drive would be good too, because it is sometimes useful to know. However, very rarely. And then we need power. Top right is power, or my bottom left technically. I'm sorry, this is the worst. Who would come for this? And then we have the reset, which needs to be reconnected at some point. But I mean, how do you cable manage this then? I suppose you have to cable manage it afterwards and hope for the best. I'm going to slot that in. But can I even slot that in now at this point? I think I need to put the lid on. And that's... Oh. Oh no. Oh no. No, no, no. Zalman, no. Don't do this. Don't go to the dark side. I trusted you. I had faith. I had this with the Inwin 301 build. I was really impressed to start with, and I thought, oh wow, this is such a cool case. It's all compact. It's all interesting. And then the further I got into it, I was like, that's interesting. Oh no, okay, maybe not. But okay, not a bit half baked there. Oh, okay. And then just the further I got into it, I was just like, at the end, I was just like, oh, this is a pile of crap. Nice looking case, nice build, all that sort of stuff. But you can't put a lot in there before things get way too busy. So the hard disk drive LED does exist. It's on the front panel. Oh, Zalman. Why did you do this to me? So I need to cable manage. Good question would be, why do we have two views from the same angle? The reason is, because I forgot. Why would anyone look at... The reason is because we're VR supporting here. I was gonna... I should call this channel AVI. So we can be AV Industries. So now we have two different angles. Is that not good? Is that not impressive? Is anyone not impressed? No? You're supposed to assist, yeah, quite right. Yeah. Why did they do this? They put quick disconnects in and it was so good. Not quick disconnects. That's a completely wrong term. They put extension cables for their stuff and now they don't. And is that a fan controller? It is. It's the most rudimental fan controller you've ever seen. Would Sir like low or would Sir like high? Sir like low or would Sir like high? Sir like any of these options? What if Sir didn't want the cables at the back? No? Ah. Oh, I thought that was a disconnecting thing there. No, it's all soldered, so you'd need to just unscrew it. Which I kind of want to, because I don't want to deal with the cables, and I don't want the fan controller. I have other means for that. So, I'm gonna, over here, just get rid of that. That built-in washer? It is. That's nice. Okay. Because I don't want it. Can go. Why didn't anyone just... Oh, and then the thing's loose. That's annoying. That's so annoying. It looks like a hole from above, so it's kind of okay. I'll live with it. So then we need to... Why would you want these? Molex power. I just can't be bothered. Right. It's like Zalman. Here's a good idea, and then here's also a bad idea. Why didn't we do good ideas all over the place? So, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Okay, that's... How do I cable manage this one? Oh, I'm just going to go through the top. Can I go through the top there? Not sure if you can see that or not. Now you can. Just wondering if I can go through the top there, or if that's going to cause interference with whatever cables there. I'm gonna have faith. The top needs to go on first, doesn't it? Yes, it does. Oh, I hate those things. Okay, now it's becoming one of these cases where I'm just like, okay, the potential was there, but the finishing moves just weren't quite there. I had faith before. They really have joined the Sith. So that cut us for that. This is for here, so I couldn't cable route through the other one. So I need to throw those down onto that. These need to come through into this main compartment. Okay. And then the SATA cable needs to not be on the side here. This could have been significantly tidier. I'll say that much. Now I'm really confused. What are those for? What the? Is it just... Okay, my confusion. Come and have a look at my confusion. If anyone can... Like, I hate to say, like, what the hell's this? Without having, like, somebody try and double check and verify the facts. What are these hooks up here? There's a hook there. Well, let's see if we can see more of the hook-like shape. There's a hook there. There's a hook over here. And there's a hook over here. There's also a lack of... Logitech, what made you think this was a correct focus? I'm pretty sure I set central focus on this as well. Anyway, hooks. There, there, and there. What are they for if they're not for the lid? And they're not for the lid. And I also didn't... Top fan bracket? Yes, the top fan bracket. Ah! Why am I so stupid? This is why this is why. So one of those things in the middle of making a video. Oh, that's annoying. Oh, you just... Okay, this becomes painful now. So that's okay. I mean, that can go in there. So the top fan bracket there. So the top fan bracket is just purely some sort of friction mount, and then that's there. But frankly, I haven't got a use for the top fan bracket right now because this is this stock testing scenario. So we're not going any further than this at the moment. That goes in there. Okay. Now, is there any way I can make use of all this stuff with the front panel to get the reset switch in, or the hard disk drive LED switch in? I'm gonna say no. Can I take that? There's no way I can take that out, is there? Is there any... There's no... No. No. No, can't do that. So you just kind of have to wrangle it in and hope you find the other end of the cable. which doesn't seem to be too bad. Mixed feelings about this case now, mixed feelings. And does any of this want to play game now? Come on. I haven't. It's like, am I crushing anything? I honestly couldn't tell you if I. Oh, that's not lining up very well with the quick disconnect thing. You have to be very precise with this now. This is where things builds get tedious. You've got to be so precise about it. I'm taking out my quick disconnect drive, even though it's not even plugged in. In fact, let's get rid of that entirely, or mostly entirely. Okay, so that really doesn't like to be in place when the top lid goes on. Okay, that's that. Apologies for the noises. Apologies for the noises. Apologies for the noises. Okay, alright. Then does this quick disconnect drive go back in? I say quick disconnect, there's like, if you could hot swap these things, great, but you'd need to have a system that could support that. I like that still. I like that. I have hope. Okay. And that's still good. I still like that feature. I still don't understand why that's not 180mm compliant. And why it's so low. Oh, it's so low because the 2.5 inch drive bay above. Okay, that makes sense. It's a missed opportunity. Could you put anything more than we've got there? No. I mean, you could maybe wrangle. Be tight. 2 120s in the front. You've only got basically 250mm to play with. So, don't know. Missed opportunity, maybe. Reset switch is bottom right on this stack now. I apologise for the lack of view. In all honesty, I haven't got much of a view either. Okay, not gonna go in. I can only really guess that what I've done here is the right position. Yeah, I'm gonna take a stab in the dark and say that was correct. Ah, no. Oh, the pain. Oh, the pain. Oh no. Oh, okay. Yeah. I had a problem with what the hell case was it? It was a something. It was like the third case build I'd ever done on this channel. Okay. It's gonna look weird. Oh. This is gonna look weird, but I need to see. Oh, no. Zalman. Zalman, why you do this? I had faith. Oh, what the? Okay. Okay, that's one. Okay, and that's two. Alright, okay. And it has room down the side. That's nice. That's okay, but the connection was awful. So we're now... That's what we're left with. So it's running down from the top and across. Okay. We made it, I think we're okay. Right, then that needs to... I'm going to run that down the side. I really would like to put some cable ties on this crap, but I mean that would mean I'd have to have more access. This panel should come off. That should be a thing, but I think as far as I'm aware, it just makes it very difficult to. It is very difficult to. So, would I recommend that? Doing that? I don't know. The problem is that the front I/O should be separate. Just it should be. This is a better view, I think. There we go. The front I/O, this whole front position here, that band should be completely separate from this panel here and this panel here. They should just be completely separate pieces. I don't know why you would have that as part of the panel, apart from obviously ease of construction. But they even make it look like it's separate, and it's like it's not. It's one piece. So yeah, they should completely make that separate, because then it makes this whole installation here way simpler. It would just make it way simpler. So huge missed opportunity there. I mean, they could really make a cool case out of this, like a really cool case out of this, really clean. But there's just a good number of things. Those aren't LED fans, are they? I don't think. Okay. So in terms of when I would be doing drive, my SATA. Oh no. I think that's the word of this build. So no. So that needs to go. Ah crap! Oh, the hard disk drive LED. Where's the plus? Which side is plus? Okay. I know which one it is. Just need to. Okay, we've got to go. Okay. Hard disk drive LED. That's plugged in. We haven't got RAM. Let's do RAM now, because otherwise I will forget RAM. And I completely forgot that I had completely untransitioned away from a usable screen. Okay. Back comes the box. And we're back to peeping mode. Okay. Oh. Rear fan filter. It didn't go in right. Don't toy with me. Don't toy with me. Thank God that doesn't happen very often, because you lose your mind if you have to do that every time you have to boot or some crap like that. Is that one way only? Yes, it is. So you only access that from one side. I suppose it makes sense because the graphics card needs to go in, which we haven't done yet. It should be just like okay. Should be fine. Need to slot RAM in next. Good. And then RAM 2 can go in. Okay, good. RAM is in position. Now we need to pick up my SATA cable. Not bang my head against the table. And I think we'll go with the SATA cable. We're going to go down into the cable management thing. Into the cable management hole. Come across and be in a decent position to hook these drives up afterwards. Oh, but these cables. It's like I/O cables are always like an afterthought. They're always like, oh, geez, we completely forgot. They actually have to use the computer. They need to be able to turn it on. Where the hell did you put that? Well, we'll just throw it. We'll just throw it there. It's fine. It's fine. Nobody will notice. Nobody will notice this rat's nest of cables hanging down. You could braid it and make it look nice. Maybe that's the kind of thing you like. But otherwise, it could look untidy. It kind of looks okay right now. Okay. So I'm not sold on Zalman still. Still not sold on Zalman. I have not seen any. I'm so sorry. Did you? Sorry, I'm so silent right now. A lot of clicking. Yeah, there's a lot of clicking. Okay, that's the second one that's going to go in here. And supports. I'm so behind on the chat. I don't even know what the whole supporting the 2005 thing is. Missed opportunity. It's a mini ITX case the size of a freaking mini fridge. You're talking about missed opportunities. Come on. No, that's not the point. You're completely missing the point of this case, dude. Like, you could have a mini ITX case as small as the RBZ03, and it's not all that small. Like, there is actually decent breathing space within this shell for drives. There is decent. It's actually within the main path of airflow. So you've got decent drive cooling. So really, this looks like it could be a prime position for a NAS. I mean, yeah. I mean, I have a feeling that you may be missing the point of this case entirely just by railroading it because it's quite large. You know, just because it's a large case doesn't mean it's and it's mini ITX doesn't mean it's awful. It's not like there's all that inefficient use of space here. This can support whatever graphics card size you fancy. So you could go for one of these, you could go for something that's even crazier than this. So you could go for some really freaking long card with this build. You can also go for a total capacity of 6 drives. There's not all that many cases that can support 6 drives. There is inefficient use of stuff lower down. I'll certainly give you that. Down here, inefficient use of space there. Back here, kind of. This side is kind of clean and okay. But yeah, it's a big case. Yes, it has a mini ITX system in. Correct. But if you went larger, if you tried to throw a micro ITX case or motherboard into this, you'd have to probably widen it by a decent, I don't know, inch or so. That would make it a fair bit bigger. It would be a less efficient use of space. You'd have more leftover space. It's a difficult one. I'd say, as it is, it's kind of okay. You would lose your cable management here for a start. All the cable management and the front, to the rear, to the sides here, that would go if you threw a micro ATX case into here, and then you'd have really awkward cable management. You'd have to throw an extra inch onto this case to make it work. So, yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult. Yeah. Over 9,000. I have no idea over 9,000. How much the case cost? I can't remember. I think I only bought it for like 40 quid. It's quite pricey for what it is, but compared to what else is on the market. But in terms of compatibility, £40 is not all that bad. Yeah, dude, you're railroading this way too hard. You're railroading this way too hard, dude. Like I've built in my fair share of bunk designed cases. This has got a lot of its quality isn't all there, but it's got a lot going for it. There's a lot of stuff here that you can do. Like you're railroading this way too hard, man. Way too hard. I mean, I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. For £40, like if you went for something like the Masterbox Lite 3.1 for like £40, I mean that's got 3.5 inch drive bays. I think that's it. I think that's all you can stick in there. It's micro ATX, yes, so you can stick more in there in that regard. But yeah, I just think it really isn't that bad of a deal. In all honesty, if you can pick this up for £30, I think you'd be relatively happy in terms of what you can actually put into this. You can throw some radiators on top if you really wanted to. You can throw a radiator up top. Let's put it that way. In fact, I think you'd probably struggle for that, to be honest. So maybe fans only up top. You wouldn't put ones in the front. You could probably put a fan unit and radiator in the front, perhaps. Maybe. I don't know if there's anything on the box that says it officially supports this kind of thing. Drive aids, cooling components. No idea. I don't think it's officially supporting water cooling at all, which is probably safe. But yeah, it's interesting. It's got interesting stuff to it. I just think some of the features, or a lot of the features, aren't finished off quite well. Yeah, I don't think saying being in the industry or longer than so and so, whatever, it's like, yeah, okay, all right, you know, fair enough. But based on my experience and what I know and what I've seen of the PC case industry as of today, what I've worked on, this really isn't all that bad. It's got a lot of good sort of features to it. It has a lot of stuff, but its design is a little bit flawed. It is a little bit cheaply constructed, yeah, but garbage? No, not garbage. You know, there's plenty of garbage around, but this looks like a fairly decent attempt-ish that just hasn't been quite executed. You know, there's even cable management loops on the bottom on all the sides down here. That's quite neat. It's got a lot of little things that are actually not too bad. And I can slot that into... Can I bring it down? Is that in position now? Yep. Yeah, I always hate it when somebody goes into the whole thing of like, well, my experience is bigger than yours, or greater than yours, therefore, you know, my shouting makes sense. It's like, well, no. Just no. Somebody tried to tell me that in one review that their opinion mattered more because they had learnt how nuclear power plants like worked. And I was like, okay, have you ever designed anything for a nuclear power plant? And they were like, no. I was like, okay, well, I've been involved in the project and I've been part of the design team for that building standard style. You know, I obviously can't say anything other than that, but like, it's like, great, you did this. Okay, it doesn't make anything valid. It doesn't make any me shouting like this makes this valid. You know? And one way to definitely not sway someone's opinion, I don't need one of those. Yeah, one way definitely not sway someone's opinion is you don't, I'm older than you, I have more experience than you, that sort of stuff. Yeah, experience matters to a certain level, but it's like you know, experience can only get you so far. To know what's garbage and not, it doesn't take a bright mind to know what is garbage and what is not. And somebody saying something's garbage and then somebody saying something is not is a difference in opinion when you have a limited level of experience, even in my case. Ironically, case. But yeah, so it's, yeah, like, there's plenty of people who are very experienced in the industry that I work in building design and architecture. And some of the calls that they make are shocking. And you talk to somebody else different, and you talk to somebody different, and they say, well, no, you don't do it this way, you do it this way. Because this is patently the better way of doing something. It's more secure, it's more watertight, it's more, you know, more ventilation, whatever you fancy. So, yeah, you know, experience doesn't necessarily mean correct. It just means time in a certain field, you know. So, yeah. Have you seen the amount of failures that have come out of certain companies based on how much experience they've got in something? They can still fail. Just because you've got a little experience doesn't mean you can't be wrong, you know. And if anything, railroading something this hard and going this hard on something and saying this is the reason, you know, and I'm the most experienced, doesn't make a huge amount of sense. How you doing, Joe? Right? Anyway, I've done nothing. Yeah, I've done nothing to fight with this case. I mean, I suppose the power supply unit went in very easily. The motherboard and the whole system like that went in, you know, pretty easily overall. The drive stuff went in pretty easily. There's a bit of difficulty with the top panel and the side panel and a bit of the wiring. Okay, but if I like the InWin 301 is a definite case of this is really not well designed. You've thrown all of your cables into the smallest channel you have possible, and then you're asked to cable manage everything in there. That's bad. But, yeah. But yeah, so it's, I don't know, it's a very, I don't know, it is what it is. You have your own opinion, that's completely fair. I really am not bothered either way about anyone having their own opinion. As much as my opinion, if anything, counts quite a lot in this instance, because I am working on the case right now, and my frustrations have not got past the point of working with something like the InWin 301. So that's one instance there. I'm actually finding this, not all that bad. I mean, that's pretty tight in there, but I can still manage to feed cables through. I've not cut myself in this case, which is good. So that's always a positive. If I went for a smaller power supply unit, which is like, this is like a above standard size, 180mm, then I'd have an even easier time. But, I can't say I'm really fighting and all of my effort is going into, oh no, this cable is a little bit of a, oh, it actually comes through, oh. That was very difficult. Everything I've done up to this point, I've been fighting. If I complain about things like this before, and I have complained about things like this before, and and then you have somebody who goes, I'm the most experienced person in the world, and they say, you kids don't know how easy you've got it and all that sort of stuff, and it's like, if that's how an experienced person talks to somebody of lesser experience, then frankly, maybe it's the wrong experience. Maybe some other experiences that need to be had to be able to communicate across better, ideas better, rather than railroading something and then saying you don't have my experience, therefore your opinion is not valid. So yeah, that's my opinion, and experience or not, it is what it is. Wherever you build a lot, you would know not to mount the power supply unit in the case, so you can pull the wires through without fighting them. Yeah, fair enough, but I just threw it in there because I'm doing a stream and I'm throwing it in there for the sake of, getting it sorted. That's what it is. It's in there, it's a weighty component, I've thrown it in, it's weighting things down. I'm good with that. I'm not fighting that either. It's like, yes, that could be absolutely perfectly good thing to do. But also, I want to get my motherboard cable in, so I'm going to have the power supply unit hanging off the side, out of the way. I want that connected in. I want to know where it's going to be. I want to know where my wires are going to be in relation, so it's in there. I'm not fighting it. If you're having a hard time building in this, then maybe something else, I'm only bringing this up because you're bringing this up, dude. Like, I wouldn't be talking about this now if you weren't talking about it. So you're just giving me the conversation starters. So I'm going through with it. So never last who whipped me. No, I'm not. No, it doesn't bother me what you say about the case or anything. Literally of no concern to me. I'm just trying to say what my opinion is here, and I don't think, I really don't think this is garbage, and then having somebody say you're not as experienced as so-and-so, therefore what you say doesn't count all that much. Yeah, that's something I'm gonna pick up on, Christ, if somebody said your experience doesn't matter like this in work, would I pick it up on them up on it? Yeah, I would. They couldn't objectively tell, if they couldn't objectively tell, or they could not objectively tell me that something was better, or something is the worst thing you could possibly do, then yeah, I would have a slight concern. Right, so that needs to go into there. So yeah, I'm waiting for these images to load. I don't know what these images are. Right, okay. We need to slot power supply unit into position. Okay, so CPU power is going to get connected in now. That's ready for fans over there. That can go into that one as well, because it's frankly where I want it to be. And let's slot that into there. Oh, come on. Try to do 2 at 1 and it'll never work. Apart from that. I think I want to cable Velcro strap around all of that. Does it need one? Okie dokie. So that's all ready to go through there, which is no problem. And then yeah, I suppose I kind of want to swap this one out with just a straight 3 one, because we've already got 1, 2, yeah, 3. I have got the splitter, which was by my side, and then it was on the desk, and now it's not here at all. So I have got ball hits. That's fine. See if we can find one with 3. Where's my 3? I did have I did have some of these a couple of these hanging around, but this is literally, it's got so bad to a point where the wires are completely sort of bent out of shape. They bent back so much that they've just weakened the connection. Pretty much all of them have died, which is no good. Right, I definitely need that. Where did that go? It'll be in view somewhere. Or it'll be on the floor. And it's on the floor. Yeah, there you go. Right. Alright, I'm just gonna knock this one straight out. Shouldn't pull it by the cable or the wire. I've actually had some break like that, but speed. Speed is of the essence. And come on. There you go. Good. Now I'm changing my mind about this one. That's cool. And that can run across there. I mean, it's all basement covered and stuff, so I know not all that bothered. And then we need this one. Cool. So that could do with a strap. Strap that up. Have I got any black ones? No, I don't. No, I'm gonna go grab a black one, just for the sake of staying color coordinated. That turns out there's one there now. Why not? We'll just go with the Be Quiet ones. We started, may as well finish. Oh yeah, that's that USB return. That's annoying. I suppose I'll throw in the graphics card now then. No. So I'll have to just flip that over then. Have I double clicked on? Just check that. Yeah. And let's. Okay, right, there you go. Whether this will be an easy install, who knows? We will see. I'm not bothered by it. I'm just watching the chat go by now. I'm not bothered by anybody who's sharing their opinion. Doesn't bother me in the slightest. And that audio cable was something that I had no idea that I hadn't connected. But that'll do. Oh, I thought I took both of them out. There you go. That's going to be tight as hell. And I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get away with sneaking that underneath, or it's going to need to go through afterwards. I'm going to presume it's going to need to go the same way as the USB 3.0 cable. I have no idea if anyone... No idea. I have no problem with anyone sharing their opinion. But it's just how you share your opinion, which is what I'm concerned with. That goes into there. One thing I do want to know is how old this taste design is. I'm pretty sure it's pretty old. Well, that's going to be an easy one, isn't it? I don't think so. Yeah, that's going to be tight. Let's see if I can wrangle it in like this, but I have a feeling I'm going to need to gain some extra access from the top. Oh, that was actually much looser than I thought it was. Oh, and I was actually pretty nicely in position before. Okay, there you go. Not too bad. Let's see. The knowledge and experience doesn't offend. It's not the knowledge and experience. It's the delivery that offends people. You know, someone says, oh, oh, that's not quite right. You know, perhaps this way would be a better way of doing it. You know, that's a good way of doing it. Saying, you don't have the experience I have, you're doing it wrong, therefore what you say doesn't matter, or what you say doesn't count, or what you say is inferior to what I say, is definitely one way of, you know, not perhaps presenting ideas the best way. Although this is an absolute nightmare, I'll definitely say this. Trying to get this to line up at the back so I can put the screw in. That's really tight. It's not that panel either. It's like I need 6 hands on this one for this one job. Or although I could potentially, actually, where's my magnetic bit on the end of the thing? It'd be nice if I had that to hand. That's what I get for using an extender over. I haven't got the other one to hand. Once it's in here. which there is one. I don't know who's putting words in your mouth. I don't know. Now let's see if I can loosen this off and press it in a bit further. Is that gonna hold? Okay. But no, there's definitely a way to deliver things, you know. That's why some people work as public speakers and other people don't work as public speakers. You know, it's just two different types of personalities. Can I see the issue with the GPU power connector? I guess I could run them underneath and over the top. Oh, yeah, we've seen this one here. Yeah, I'm seeing that problem now. I'm definitely seeing that problem now. Now that becomes a big problem, because I don't quite know how to get around that, because this is riveted in place. So maybe this is not going to be all that possible. I obviously don't want to press down on that to make it work, because it won't work. It's not going to shift that much before something breaks. I wonder if there's any way that this can be moved anyway, and I don't think that's the case. Yeah, I'm not sure this is going to work now. What is the limit actually to the graphics card on this? What do they say? They don't mention graphics card capacity. Oh no, yeah, they do. 350 millimeters apparently, which looks like this is definitely under 350 mil. So yeah, I wonder how they were expecting 350 millimeter graphics cards to work, apart from rear connection. There's nothing that I'm missing on this that is becoming a problem. Yeah. Is it the extra width of the? Yeah, because it is way higher than the. Yeah. There's no way that that is gonna actually blue tack this down. Shouldn't do that. Just wondering. I mean, that's still gonna have the same problem. It's not like you'd put the water cooled one in either way. So, yeah. And I don't know whether I fancy cutting that out. Because all you'd need is a cut in that section, but you'd still need to have the 2.5 inch drive out. Now that there looks to me like a potential deal breaker. I don't think, not unless I connect first and slot it in, but that's a lot of strain on these just to make them. Could that even work? Maybe. I'm gonna try that first before throwing in the towel. We'll see. Oh, show close. Okay. Yeah. So that there is the clash. So we need to somehow get over there. And there's no cutout, and this whole thing is riveted in. You can see there, that's the rivet. Rivet there. Sure, you can drill the rivets out, but yeah, it's not ideally something you want to have to do. I have very shaky hands right now. Could do some sort of image stabilization or something. But yeah, so that's the thing. So what I might try and do is pop the card out very quickly and see if I can connect first and then okay, let's see. Now is there a way that I can just quickly snag that with my finger? I doubt it, so plastic ruler. Gingerly try and okay, let's see. So we'll have to go cable routed first, cable routed first, and then we'll see how it goes. Take that out. That would be a really bad start to sort of live streamy sorts of things like this, and follow-up videos of the first one couldn't be tested with, because there's no point in doing this if I can't test it. I want to test. Okay, so let's go. What am I doing? These are bent around the other way around. It's like you go from one power supply unit and graphics card to another power supply unit and graphics card, and it all becomes backwards. Okay, let's see. No, this is completely the most awkward way of doing it, but it is the way that is being done. And okay. Okay. Now there's the is there enough space for it to right. This is gonna seem awful. Like the worst. And I wonder if this kind of treatment voids the warranty of the things. Only certain radiuses of bends that can be accepted before the warranty is voided. I don't know. Let's see. I'd like to strap that back there, to be honest, but no, we're going to try test fit it first. Hopefully it should be a temporary solution, if at all. I don't know. These cables really aren't playing ball. Yeah, pull them through that one there. Yeah, I think so. I want it to be quite tidy and neat in the front. I got a little bit more control of where they go then. I think we're gonna have to go that way. And back in there. So can I just pull them straight through? Thought I was nearly going then, and it nearly is. It's going to be so tight either way because it still needs to get past this point here, and that is very tight. Last thing I want to do is actually scratch the finish of the back plate, just to try and get this one case constructed, built in. I'll tidy up cables afterwards. Okay. Right. And okay. I don't think that's enough. They have to be splayed sideways because they can't go over each other, can't overlap. Oh god, for better or for worse, this is the attempt. There's no way that I can do it. No, not at all. Yeah, not at all. Yeah, I wasn't even taking into account how much the blocks sit off there. If it was just cables poking out, then yeah, sure. Don't think I've got any like any low profile connectors or anything like that for these sorts of things. Never had to use them before. So I'm wondering, this is a point where you just say, just not possible? Or is there any way that we can make this work? That 3.5-inch bay relies on this. I think that's a no-go. I think that's a no-go. And it's good that I potentially double work this week on this, on videos, to then give myself a backup. So now I've got a backup for the next week, which is yeah. Yeah, so yeah, looking at 15, 16 mil on that. Yeah, no, 17.47. If I read a little bit further on, yeah. So I mean, if we were talking, I mean, still measuring from the connection. You'd still be so tight. Just for this cable. Oh, is that completely? No, it's not. Just measuring from the sort of radius of that cable there, from the top, from the peak of its radius to the base of the connector, that's like 20 mil. So yeah, and I have got one other card. I have got one. But this wouldn't be a problem if you had like a 1050 Ti. I've got an ace up my sleeve. Bear with me. Need a screwdriver. Bear with me. Now I'm not sure this means I can test this. If I can do any testing on this, because I don't think performance-wise it's gonna add up. But oh yeah, there, HD 770 ATI, and that'll fit in. Don't even need power. That's great. Don't even need power. So that can just go. Power can go away in the corner there, and we can just stick the. There we go. That's fine. It's perfect. Why do we need, you know, specific Founders Edition cards or anything? You can have whatever you like. Not saying that there's going to be any benefit to it. But yeah. It's got rear power. Yeah, there we go. But rear power is fun. Well, at the rear, I'd say. What's it need? 6 pins. There you go. So I'll just give it 6 pins of power, and it'll be fine. It's like a 360 rotate on that one. Or well, not quite 360. 270. There you go. Connected, that's it. There you go. Still dusty from the last time it was used, and I don't know when that was. But there we go. So that's technically a build minus drives. I'm not sure. Would anyone want that? Yeah, that was ATI. Yeah, that was from an era where where renders of you know, that was the kind of card you'd go for. I think many people remember those days, probably better than me. That was the Radeon. So yeah, limitations in this case, certainly limitations. Whether this is worth like a follow-up review, I really don't know. So yeah, I think this is a bit of a bitter end. It started off relatively well in terms of the feature set. The build was not the easiest thing in the world. Wasn't the worst. Oh, boot. I'm going to boot off this. Well, I haven't got any drive in there, so that's going to be pretty impossible. I haven't actually got a boot drive to hand. I've only got one boot drive right now, and I'm looking to change that to about 3 maybe in the new year. Yeah. Yeah, the Corsair had a really big issue. Just turn it on. I can get a power cable, and I can certainly give it a stab. Yeah, we'll get some fan spin. Isn't that the mark of a working system? Fan spin. One came with the case. One came with the power supply, so. Hey, you could go crossfire on this. But what? That's like. I'm not sure. That even. I'm not sure how like old school crossfire worked. But yeah, don't know. The question is, do I do a review on this? A review video, a follow-up review video? It would be a quick one, because there would be no test data for it. I mean, we've got panels on, I guess, that... It's powered and... I wonder how my system is gonna fare with all of this. Oh, the colouring is awful on the... Oh. So, I mean, all the fans are spinning. So, you know, there's always that. We have... This is LED. As horrible as that looks. Let's have a look at what the front looks like. With this, I'm going to put this back on its in its stand area. There. Let's see. Oh, wow. That really doesn't look good. I mean, there is, I wonder if there's a certain angle to which this case looks good. Should we put the side panel on? And we'll see what that looks like. Let's see. All right. So what was that connector then on the side, on the top? So, I mean, are we digging the style? One thing I'm not a fan of, and this was the same situation with the Zalman, the other Zalman case I've checked out, is the overhang ridge. Not a big fan of those. That is a lot of overhang there. So some quality of life sort of stuff. It's not even GPU cooling though, is it? Like the GPU's like here. Like that's like I'll remove this screw now and we can check out. I mean, something I'd do in a video would be a case of like having this image here and then take the panel off without moving the case and then shift it and then blend one over the other. I mean, if we're talking at this level, like, I mean, it's doing something, I guess, for that one. It's about halfway. So, yeah, it's I'm not sure if whether it's something, potentially some provision for the power supply unit down there as well. There is a fair gap from the power supply unit, so it's potential. Is that getting hot already? Wow, that's actually kicking out warm air. What are you rendering? It's probably me struggling with the really blown up version of what's this? Asus board? Yeah, really blown up version of the boot Asus logo. So yeah, that's yeah, that was a bit of a kick in the teeth. So this is one of those things where, like Corsair with the 240, when I reviewed the Air 240, had exactly the same problem as this case did. And it's like you would have thought that, I mean, if we're gonna, we could even go back to the conversation of experience. You would have thought that with the experience of some of the team from Corsair, they would have been able to at least acknowledge that most cards are above 120mm wide. Therefore, they should put in something, some provision, or some notice, let's say, for people so that when they buy the case, they know that what they're getting themselves into. Because so many people will buy a case. Now, I've had quite a few people on this channel come to me and say, well, this didn't fit in here. What have I done wrong? Or why can't this do that? Or can this go in there? And it is really a case of reading a spec sheet and listening to what I said in the review. But people get really confused. And like Zalman, obviously, with this being a sort of older case, whether it is, how old it is, or should that even matter? Answer is probably no. They really should be providing enough room to be able to put in cards of a much larger size. Now that, to me, is a deal breaker. Why would you buy a case you can't fit a card in, like a decent card in? Like, sure, you can fit a 350mm one there. I could, if this was like a permanent build, I could deal with all the other stuff. But one where you can't put a card that is, I mean, as hell, let's measure it out. But I mean, where the hell do you measure from and to? That's the one thing that's like, I mean, do you measure from motherboard PCB? Do you measure from the graphics card PCB pins up and above? I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, it's 145mm from base to top anyway. So, I mean, you're looking at shorter than that. So I'd say, yeah, 120mm is probably where you're at. You're going to be struggling for a lot. So yeah. So the question is this worth doing a review of? I mean, there's two ways of looking at this. I haven't got any information from this that I can give you. I can't give you temperature because my test system involves the GTX 1070. I can't, I can't give data on that that's comparable. What's the point on doing it with this card? This is completely pointless. So, yeah, it's always worth bringing this up potentially for the situation that, like, hey, this doesn't work with any card above 115 mil or something. That would be the trick. Yeah, that would be the trick, I think. But I mean, is it even worth doing? I don't know. I'll have a little think tonight and see where I stand on it. I'll have a little think during work tomorrow and see if see what's what. But yeah, will that just die off? Yeah. Yeah, it will. So, how much power do these things draw? It's like 75 watts from the board, isn't it? So, how much more does it need than 75 watts for a card? I mean, obviously, they were so much more inefficient. I mean, what's this, like a 42 nanometer processor or something like that? No idea. So way less efficient. So, but yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. It's a problem. They, if you're gonna go into length, I mean, really, you should be going into length, depth, and height as your maximums, because as the designers, that information should be known, and it's not that difficult to put that on a case or a thing. I don't know, or a spec sheet. I don't know. So, yes. Yeah. I mean, I suppose, we've got the integrated graphics processing, I guess. Let's hit the power off on that. Let it power down. And we'll see what's what. I think I'll pull this out. I'm going to slot it back in the original case, where it belongs. It doesn't belong in this. But yeah. It's one thing to think about the rendering system is the streaming system that potentially going to build up from the same PC that this card came from. What graphics card is going to be used? Are we even going to be using this? AMD. I'd have to buy another card. I have to buy another CPU, motherboard, all that sort of stuff. Budget-wise, it just seems a little bit tight. That can go there. I'll pull it out and then pull the power out. Is this all powered down now? I'm gonna hope so. I'd have thought so. Why don't more card manufacturers go for a rear slot power thing? Is there a reason for that? They haven't got a reason for that. Why don't go rear slot? I mean, I know it's not as accessible, but it's certainly tidier. Right. What I'm gonna do is slot this panel back on there and throw this down into here. Considering we didn't exactly get a proper boot or anything, put that over there, and bring up the old one. I think this is like an Antec 600 or something. Ew. And this came from Novatech. Oh, there you go. Apologies for the noise there. So this came from Novatech. What DIMMs do we have in this? Broken ones by the time I drop this. We got 1 gig DIMMs. DDR3 1333. And I literally cannot tell. It says 2G by 16, and I'm wondering if that means 2 gig. VData, apparently, though, who made this. It's not very interesting to most people, I can imagine, but yeah, if anyone can extrapolate the data from that. 2G by 16? No idea. That means 2 gig. I doubt it. Must be 1 gig or maybe 512. I have no idea. Yeah, trying to work out what. But either way, every slot is occupied. So does 12 gigs come to memory on this one? And why does that not want to go in? These notches, these latches will snap out. Yeah, this is certainly an old system. Ooh, here we go. So that is the potential. So I think it's a 950 in there. That's the potential streaming system. I'm not sure if that's it's gonna hold up well. 3.06 gigahertz from memory. And we'll see. 600 watt power supply unit, so not too bad. And then it's got two front case fans, 1 rear exhaust on the power supply unit. Well, acting is for the case anyway. So yeah. 3-pin fan headers, 4 at the top, which is good. Nothing good. Yeah, okay, so yeah, let's see if there's anything going on in the chat that I can flip over, I think, to that one there. So evening, Spencer, how you doing? Okay. Yeah, because there was one thing when I got the i9 390X, I couldn't fit it in here. There was not enough room for it. Which, I mean, it is still here, so... I mean, let's just compare this one. Oh, ho, ho, ho. That one just squeezes in. That one just squeezes in. Does the i9 390X a touch longer? Let's water cool this. Water cool here. Yeah, that was something that I just couldn't wrangle. I think it's potential, but when I had my other case, there wasn't a possibility. Plus, then I was what were we looking at? Gen 2 on this, I think. PCI Express Gen 2. And yeah, that was one big drawback. Hence why I had to upgrade. Look at spacing. Is this a 300? No idea. 300, 600? No idea. Scratch to hell. Definitely was worked, or well worked in with. What words? Had USB 3.0 though, so you know there's always that. That's when that was a new thing. Yeah, you would have had a hard time fitting that bracket in whatever packet. Oh yeah, that power adapter thing. Yeah, I mean, I really only had like maybe I have about 4 or 5 millimeters of space, so I'm not sure. If it was only 4 or 5 millimeters long, deep, then maybe it's possible to do it, but it would have to be a wide one to allow. Oh, I think you're talking about I think you're talking about that wraparound thing. Yeah. Oh, do you mean in the main box? Yeah, I threw that up just then, and just to see if it would fit. I mean, I'll try it again now, just for the sake of thoroughness. In fact, I'll first put the side panel on. One thing I liked about this case is the door, because it would just slot into position. You wouldn't have any of those annoying latches on the top and bottom. I was not a fan of those. Actually, I need to put the graphics card back in. I'll do that first. Say goodbye to this one and then get back to the other one and see if we can wrangle anything. But I would not be interested in air cooling the R939TX. I don't think anyone's suggesting that though. In order to complete the Peace Express. Go for that one actually. And now we need to. As if these screws are really relevant at this point. This is the idea. This is the idea. That's the plan that we're going to use this system. Are we talking about the system that we're talking about the system that is running the stream now as of this second, or are we talking about this system in front of me? Because the idea is we're going to use this one, but I'm not sure in terms of graphics card wise, like if that's at all. We don't have to run on the graphics card at all. Like that's not. I haven't even got a graphics card in the one that we're running with now. Using the integrated graphics card, yeah, but that's all we need, or potentially all we need, is just something to run. Just something to run the some graphics in terms of the programs and that sort of stuff. That's about as far as we need to go. So there we go. Yeah, really heavy case though, for what it is anyway. And back to this thing. Yeah. So R939X, that was the question. I want that cable well out the way. Okay. I'm just going to slide in for the sake of sizing it up. Come on. I mean, that's more likely. But still very tight. I mean, I said I'd need 20 millimeters. So we haven't got 20 millimeters to make that turn. Got 15, not even that. So there's no way this would even fit in. based on the tightest turn I could make, because it's not just the turn of the cable, it's also the turn of the it's also the size of the connector itself, the sort of back end of the connector. And there you go. Throw that back on the shelf. I started blue tacking the thing down this morning to make sure it didn't fall. I don't want that thing falling off the shelf. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, like, that's, yeah, there's no way I can do it. There's no way I can do it. Based on the turn on that, it's just no way. I need 20mm to do it, and there's 12. So I've got like half the turn that I need to make it work. It's a shame, but like, I mean, if I bring this as close as I can, if I can get some sort of up close shot of what's going on here. I don't have to actually. There you go. So if I bring this up here, you can see that's the turn that we need to make, and we need like 20mm. Just touch less, maybe 17mm. We got 12. It's just not going to work. Ah, what a shame. What a shame. That would have been nice. That would have been nice. I would have been happy to do a review on this, because it's one of those cases that has its strengths in terms of compatibility and its weaknesses in terms of its certain like finishing elements. So it would have been worth doing one. But really it's not, because it's such an outdated case. It's just not. Yeah. Can we call it a garbage case now? Call it a bad case. I'd call it a bad case. Well, I don't think garbage is a word that I really use. Yeah, I think it's just limited in terms of scope. Would I call this a garbage case? That's a good question. Is the word garbage, based on everything that we've seen here today, an appropriate word? Can I refund it? Hell no, I bought this like probably nearly 2 months ago. Because I intended to do an actual build on it. Well, I'm glad I live streamed on it and didn't actually intend to do a full build on it, because frankly, if I'd set myself down some time, I mean, okay, clearly this, I could do an unbuild stream. Actually, let's just rip shit out of it. Like, that's what we can do. As I said earlier, not gonna swear. Let's see if we can do just a super quick unbuild with a lack of caring for most of the stuff. I mean, how the hell do I even sell this case at this point? Very limited GPU. Just sell it like they sold it. Just, yeah, I can fit a 350mm graphics card in. It's amazing. That's going to be a difficulty. Maybe I'll take it to... Nah, even that would be cool for somebody in a charity shop. Would I say... I would say I am 90% on the way with Big Buckarama on calling this case garbage. 90%. Based on what I saw before, not. But based on the graphics card compatibility, adding to everything, like, adding to everything, yeah, I'd say. Is that gonna come out? Actually, why am I even taking that out? It doesn't even matter. Jesus. it had hope. In fact, why am I really struggling away with all of this when I can just rip it all out? Oh yeah, that's a roof. So sort of limited in height. It was actually recently we managed to get the roof repaired after 2 years of it not being repaired, which is always nice. So yeah, no, it's but my disappointment here is the potential. If you could indeed call it potential. Sorry about that. No, my disappointment there was the potential, because it was just one of those things where it's just like there were things I liked. There were things I liked. I liked that front drive end. That front drive bit at the start was just like, it was promising. It was like, oh, the tape. It was like promising, because it was like, hell yeah, if you're somebody who's constantly flipping through drives, that's quite a stiff pull burger. You're constantly flipping a drive in and out to do whatever the hell you're doing. That's a cool feature. If you're not, then it makes no sense. But it's still like you can still put a drive in there. It's not like it's defunct. Is this gonna? So one thing I find, one thing I found with some case builds and stuff is the dismantling of a case does sometimes bring up a lot of issues that just aren't known from the construction of the case. To say, I didn't break, did it? That would have been balls. There you go. That was harder to get out than it was to put in. But isn't that just life? Okay, that's gonna go back up there. I'll put it in its proper place at some point. So yeah. But anyway, I've got a case that is on the sidelines, which I'm not going to build now because, I mean, Christ, we're already like something. Could redesign it with a Dremel and a drill. Not now, but that's What, dragging it back into the 21st century? Plus 10 years. I hate 24-pin power and motherboard cables. They're horrible. Serious source of annoyance for me. Would it be worth doing that? Would it be worth the time and effort? Got other crap to do as well. Don't know. I don't know. Just cut my hot sauce out with a Dremel a drill, place the plexus. Yeah. The one thing that potential, I'm gonna flip back to on the go. The one potential situation is that we've got these two screw holes. These take this tray out, and that's it. It's riveted on the top. So we need to take this out, relocate it across a little bit, I think, and then drill out a section there. Or Dremel out a section there. But to get a clean, actually no, I've got the adapter, so the adapter could like come in sideways and cut out. Whether it cut out sideways would be a bit tight. I do need to get that bit actually that's like a sort of milling sort of piece. So yeah. Wondering how to get it through into that bay though. That would have to come up. It'd have to come up out of here and then come across. into that bit, into that tray there. It might be quite tidy. And then we change this with plexiglass. Yeah. Change that out with plexiglass. So you got yourself a window. Oh wow. No, that's more than complicated than just a bit of plexiglass. It's taking these out with these bent pieces of, you know, mesh, which is not a problem. But then this is all part of the same. It's all part of the same form. So I could cut it out. Maybe that would be an option. Yeah. Just wondering other potential modding things to do to this that might be worth doing. I wonder if there's anything down here that's worth doing. Right. Don't know. It's an interesting one. It could be modded relatively easily to do what you want it to do, but I'm wondering if you're going to go down the road of modding and just like cutting the crap into it, would it just not be fun to also just go nuts in terms of like adding extra quality to it? Problem is that like this side panel. One minute. Oh, well, that's a good thing I did. Okay, that's better. Okay, the panels are interchangeable. So I'm good. So that's more GPU height. It's still a bit low for like the card, but it's actually fine. Popping that out might be. Yeah, it does line there. What was the? Because I had it down here. Wow, I'm surprised it actually slotted in. Actually, I'm really not. It was down there. So that's better. Would it be worth? I mean, I'm just gonna, for the sake of let's see what happens. I want to pull those out. Gonna need like a. Let's get a bottle opener. Let's bottle opener this thing. I'm gonna transition to the other one. Okay. I'm just gonna pry up this. Oh, it's actually much easier if you just get it into the groove. Oh, this one's a pain. There you go. See, now we're gonna get into a dangerous, like, 2-week modding video now. There's only so much you can do. Oh god, it's even dark now as well because daylight savings has come into play. Oh, that's painful. Yeah, the sickness. I'm gonna be after your modding belt. Does that? I mean, that would work great for Linus Tech Tips. I mean, that to me doesn't look half bad. Oh, it's already 11 o'clock. God damn it. Oh, I need to tidy all this up. I got work in the morning. But anyway, that doesn't look half bad to me. I kind of think, yeah. Yeah, yeah. You do sometimes question that sort of thing, don't you? Why was something like that the GPU situation overlooked so much? I'm wondering. Anyways, yeah, whether it's worth actually going into, I think that's quite a cool window in itself. But it's these pieces here that look a little bit off around the outsides. But I mean, I suppose that's probably the less. So leave the filter out and just put the mesh over. Could paint the mesh. It's all interesting. It's all very interesting. I don't know. I'll have a think about this. Whether it's worth doing. The answer is probably no. What does the top look like? Probably worth doing something similar. But I mean, I'd kind of want to do like a mod that I would kind of at least do so that I can say this is kind of worth doing. I mean, sure, if you've got this case already, but I mean, at this stage, who has this case already? And yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Don't know. Is it even fair to encourage people to do this? I should do it with the back of that. That hurts a lot less. Okay. Dunno, it's food for thought, but here's the thing, do I want to see if I can mod this? I just want to get rid of it. I mean, that's the real question right now. Yeah. I don't know, right, let's just strip the rest of this out, because I do need to do this. I don't need to get it out of here. And, yeah. That's that there. And then the fan cable can go too. Well, it's attempted cable management. Nope, not worth it. Pretty weak source cable management there. Not exactly something you can't strip apart in seconds. Well, something went somewhere. Oh, don't tell me that went inside the... Okay, that went there. Whew. Okay. So, there we go. Suppose this goes under the sort of category of would not recommend. Interesting, but deal-breaking problems. Let's get like a D. D, even a grade. I'm not sure what grades there are these days. Easy colors. Well, that's true. could be a bit of a practicing ground for future modding stuff. Did I unscrew one already? Did I screw these tight enough so I have to do it with a screwdriver now? Well, yeah. Yep, I did. I mean, I suppose the fact that I'm unbuilding this now means that I really don't intend to actually do a review of the thing. Because if I actually wanted to, I would leave it up. I'd leave it in its sort of final form. Anyway, things that are coming up, which I will discuss very, very momentarily. Something that I'm going to be doing is painting this room. That's something that needs to happen. Needs to happen quite well now. Let's see if I can get a... Okay, perfect screen. Right. Painting this room. One of... Let's get a screw out and not leave the screwdriver in there because it will fall and I will have problems. We're going to be painting this room one of these colours. Going for an architect's grey or something. I'm thinking that one or that one. I think that one's a bit too dark. But I'm going to do a Photoshop exercise and pick these colours and place them everywhere and see if it actually looks semi-realistic. So we're going to be painting the room very soon. So yeah, that's going to be something we're going to be doing. It's been on cards for a good few months now. Just been trying to find time to actually get it done. But I've like accrued a lot of leave in work because I just haven't taken any off this year. So I'm going to be using that to its best effect. I'm also doing a DIY project which I'll be commencing the first stage of construction in about 2-3 weeks maybe. Should be able to get it built in within a week. So that can, you know, that should be entertaining on some level. So yeah, that'll be interesting. I also have a case that I've mentioned, but I'm gonna go grab the box and bring it over when I actually discuss that. So I've actually got two cases I really haven't mentioned much of. I've got one of those ones. Think we can but not coming back. These are still other things. Don't think I got it, but okay. I'm pretty bad with jokes anyway, so. Where's the thing gone? I think I put it in there, maybe not. Who knows? Ah, that time of night. I still need to put make the what you call it live. God, that's an old video. The dust video, dust versus thermals video coming up. That was in March. I recorded that in March. I mean, I don't even know how long that is. Is that 6 months? Is that more than 6 months? I don't know. So that was yeah, that's coming out soon. Or tonight, I think. I'll put that live tonight for tomorrow morning maybe or something. So that should be a good watch. And yeah. Get the power supply out. I actually need food. I have not eaten for a good while. Oh no, it's not been that long. Maybe like 9 hours. Maybe not 8. It's not so bad. Right. Don't fight these data cables, not at this stage. This has been a rather sort of somber end to the stream. That was just a big pain in the butt in the end, wasn't it? Would have been kind of worth it-ish if it sort of worked. But it didn't. So is that it? Basically it. Huh. Right, well I think I'm going to do all my tidying up for this tomorrow. Because I think it's worth anybody hanging around to watch this sort of thing. So I'll end the stream there. Thanks for coming out, and thanks for showing support for what was not really worth supporting. But yeah, so that's basically it. Don't really know what else to say. Yeah, so I hope you enjoy the Dust versus whatever thing. Oh yeah, that's one thing I wanted to do. For the few of you that are left here, I am jumping into a couple of ATX case reviews. One of them is this Thermaltake V200 tempered glass RGB edition. So RGB edition there. So that's one thing that we're gonna be looking into, and we'll see how that goes. I purely bought it because it was fully tempered glass. It had RGB with it, which is always easy to do, and it was actually like a really solid price of around, I think it was about that's about £55 or something. So for £55, something with full tempered glass, I don't think it's something you can say no to. And that should be a relatively interesting build. So that's something I might be trying to do. That might be another water cool build coming up, which should be quite fun. But apart from that then, I would think I'll leave it at that, and I will catch you in the next one. There'll be a video uploaded tonight, or will be a video published tonight. And there will also be a video, or let's just say tomorrow. I'll say tomorrow so nobody hangs around for anything like that. And yeah, so I'll leave it at that. I'll cut the stream off, and yeah. Around €60. Yeah, I found it on some sale or something. It was on a fairly decentish sale, so it was like £55 something. I don't actually know. Actually, do I have the receipt? No, I don't know. Anyway, yes, so that's pretty much that. I think I'll catch you in the next one, guys. So I'll say bye now, and I will see you in a bit tomorrow. You'll see me tomorrow in an old video. It's one thing I was gonna do for that video. I was gonna do a intro saying, like, you know, this is you know, freaking ancient video in comparison to the stuff we're doing today. So the quality is a little bit worse than for Wes than it would have been, and we were on a like tight deadline. We had like the one evening to do it, and that was it. So yeah. Anyway, I hope you enjoy it, and I'll catch you in the next one, guys. Bye bye.